Chapter 1985. After Night Sorrow's clone in Night Moon Mountain Villa came out of seclusion, he washed up, changed into a clean robe, and went to the guest room in Star Moon Mountain Villa. King Yawu Grand Elder, Golden Dragon King, Green Rock Old Ancestor, and Chirue were all in Night Moon Mountain Villa's guest room. They didn't like to socialize, so the mountain villa was relatively quiet. Seniors, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come to Night Sorrow's little brother and sister's wedding. Please don't mind it, said Night Sorrow. King Yawu and Grand Elder nodded. Night Sorrow, Longjin is the young master of our Golden Dragon clan, but the wedding was arranged by your family. This king is very grateful. If there's anything in the future, just let Longjin talk to me. The Golden Dragon King looked at Night Sorrow and expressed his attitude. Lord Golden Dragon King, you're too polite. Longjin and I are brothers. It's not a big deal to arrange his wedding, said Night Sorrow. It's the same for me. Tianyu has been with you since he was young, and you took care of him. In less than 1,000 years he has achieved so much. The Green Rock clan will remember this in our hearts. We will be eternal allies with the Nine-Domain world. Green Rock Old Ancestor also expressed his attitude. How should I address him? Night Sorrow looked at King Yawu and asked. Just call him Old Rock. Old Rock's attainments in space and time are very deep. If you have time, ask him for advice. King Yawu said. I understand. Old Rock is too serious. I don't have any blood brothers, but Tianyu and Longjin are no different from my blood brothers. I'm very happy to arrange their wedding. Night Sorrow cupped his hands at Green Rock Old Ancestor. Night Sorrow and Green Rock Old Ancestor didn't mention Guan Yu's Heaven's Cliff because it wasn't a big deal now. Then Night Sorrow bowed to Chirue. Haha, you don't have to be so courteous with me. Lin Yu calls you big brother, so I'm considered your uncle. You have to come. Otherwise, when you go back, you won't be able to keep your beard and it will be pulled out. Chirue said with a smile. Everyone was chatting casually. No one was bickering or putting on airs. Night Sorrow, you've been in seclusion all this time. How's the research on Wuji's attribute going? The Grand Elder brought up a topic he was more concerned about. My doppelganger has been deducing all this time. My main body has just begun to fuse with it. As for whether it will succeed or not, it's still unknown, Night Sorrow said. Don't worry. If it doesn't work, we'll just find the reason and get rid of it, King Yawu said. I understand. Don't worry, Martial Uncle. Night Sorrow nodded. The Xianwang clan is here as well. Don't take what happened last time to heart. Harmony is very important. To be honest, no one would dare to bully you now, said King Yawu. I understand. I'll pay them a visit later. Night Sorrow knew what King Yawu meant. He hoped that he would be able to form more good karma. Just as they were talking, Night Sorrow stood up and excused himself. Then he left the guest room and rushed towards the entrance of Night Moon Villa. His face was full of surprise, because he saw Wu Lingfei. Wu Lingfei was wearing a white silk dress with golden hair accessories on her head. Aunt Fei. Night Sorrow bowed when he saw Wu Lingfei. Night Sorrow, what are you doing? Wu Lingfei reached out and helped Night Sorrow up. Seniors, please come in. Night Sorrow cupped his hands to the women behind Wu Lingfei. He knew that they were the experts of the Ice Phoenix clan. Thank you, Region Lord Knight. The experts of the Ice Phoenix clan cupped their hands to Night Sorrow in return. Night Sorrow brought them to the loft where he was resting. Aunt Fei, the guest rooms are full now. This is Night Sorrow's usual resting place. Aunt Fei and the others, please don't mind. Night Sorrow, why are you so distant from Aunt Fei? Wu Lingfei looked at Night Sorrow and asked. No, it's just that Aunt Fei is the empress of the Ice Phoenix clan now. I can't neglect her. Also, please forgive me. When Aunt Fei ascended the throne, Night Sorrow was in the reincarnation battlefield. Night Sorrow said. When Aunt Fei ascended the throne, the Humanitarian League and the Yi clan went. Aunt Fei was very happy. Later, when she heard that something happened to you, Aunt Fei was very sad. She returned to the 9 regions world once, but she didn't see you. Wu Lingfei turned her head and wiped the corners of her eyes. Aunt Fei, don't you think I'm fine now? Night Sorrow said with a smile. He knew that when he was unconscious, the operation of the Emperor-grade teleportation array was limited. However, it didn't affect Wu Lingfei because he was familiar with her aura, even if her cultivation was higher than his at the time. Yes, I'm very good. The child with core condensation cultivation back then is now an emperor, and a human emperor at that. Wu Lingfei's words were a little emotional. Thank you for your guidance and care along the way, Auntie Fei. Oh right, the gift for Auntie Fei. I originally planned to forge a long sword with human merit, but that Pu Luo directly forged it into a golden brick. Auntie Fei can just play with it. Thinking about the gift, Yishang felt embarrassed. Human Dao Golden Brick is very famous now. Aunt Fei wants to join the Humanitarian League. Is there a problem? Wu Lingfei said with a smile. If the Ice Phoenix clan has no problem, I naturally have no problem. The other elders of the Humanitarian League also welcome Aunt Fei. Night Sorrow said. Third elder, is there a problem with this seat joining the Humanitarian League? Wu Lingfei turned around and looked at one of the white-haired women who had been standing there. Lord Golden Phoenix, there is no problem with doing anything. As long as there is no threat to your safety, the elders will not ask. The Humanitarian League upholds the principle of punishing evil and promoting good. It is a force worthy of respect. The white-haired woman said. Then it's fine. Wu Lingfei nodded. After arranging for the elders of the Ice Phoenix clan to rest, Night Sorrow took Wu Lingfei to the Twilight Tea House. This time, Night Sorrow didn't sit in the Moon Pavilion. Instead, he chose the Snow Pavilion in the Wind, Flower, Snow and Moon Pavilion. Permanent 6Z free. Fee CJ little underscore say after the tea was brewed, Night Sorrow poured a cup for Wu Lingfei. Aunt Fei, I see that your relationship with the elders is not very good. Did you have a bad time in the Ice Phoenix clan? Night Sorrow asked. That year something happened to you. I wanted to return to the 9 Regions world, but they didn't agree. I hate them, Wu Lingfei said. Aunt Fei, they did it for your own good. I'm fine now, so don't mind them, Night Sorrow said. They shouldn't have forced their will on me. Mother only passed down the throne. I haven't seen her in all these years. Wu Lingfei explained her situation. At this time, in the Night Moon Villa, the women of the Ice Phoenix clan were chatting. Whether Lord Imperial Concubine's attitude can change depends on this trip. Back then, we were a bit reckless and didn't care about her feelings. Fortunately, Night Sorrow woke up. Otherwise, the problem would be very troublesome. The woman called Third Elder by Wu Lingfei said. Chapter 1986. That's right. If something really happened to Night Sorrow, the relationship between Imperial Concubine and our Elder Guild would be irreconcilable. Fortunately, the situation isn't too bad. The third elder heaved a sigh of relief when he saw the harmonious relationship between Wu Lingfei and Night Sorrow. After Night Sorrow and Wu Lingfei drank tea, they returned to the Night Moon Villa. Concubine Wu Lingfei brought several elders from the Council of Elders to visit King Ye Wu and the others. Yishang also went to visit the guests who had come to attend the wedding. King Ye Wu and the others were very polite when they saw Wu Lingfei. In the eyes of the world, the Ice Phoenix clan wasn't as famous as the Bloodscale clan, or as domineering as the dragons. However, their strength was indeed shocking because there were many experts in the Ice Phoenix clan. After exchanging a few words, Wu Lingfei left after having a few elders accompany King Ye Wu and the others. She was going to Star Moon City, where there were people she cared about and people who cared about her. For example, the God-slaying squad was currently in Star Moon City. Firstly, the wedding would be held in Star Moon City. Secondly, the God-slaying squad would be in Star Moon City to maintain order. King Ye Wu, Grand Elder, please help me persuade Imperial Concubine. Because of Night Sorrow, Imperial Concubine is now dissatisfied with our Elder Guild, the Ice Phoenix clan's third elder said. Why do you say that, Elder Yu? The Grand Elder asked, puzzled. The Ice Phoenix clan's third elder's name was Huang Yu. When something happened to Night Sorrow, Imperial Concubine received the news and was about to leave the Ice Phoenix clan. At that time, it was a crucial period for her cultivation. The Elder Guild didn't agree and sent her to the clan to cultivate. After that, she didn't take the initiative to communicate with us and caused a rift between us. Huang Yu explained the cause of the matter. That's what you should do. She was born in the 9 Regions world, and has a very good relationship with Night Sorrow. They are closer than family. Do you know that she was poisoned by the evil dragon Flame, and that Night Sorrow didn't put in a lot of effort? You should always consider the feelings of others. The Grand Elder glanced at Huang Yu. Although he was a little angry, the Grand Elder still agreed to Huang Yu's request. Jun Xuanji and Zhu Juyin also returned to Star Moon City. Their relationship with Yi Nianxiao was very good, so they naturally had to attend Yi Nianxiao's wedding. Night Sorrow was very busy. There were too many guests. He had to meet those he knew and those he didn't know. At the border of Nirvana Ocean, Mo Tianji came out of seclusion in a canyon that was on the same line as Heaven Desolate City. Peak Emperor rank. After 700 years of recuperation and seclusion, Mo Tianji stepped into Peak Emperor rank. After coming out of seclusion, Mo Tianji went to see Long Zhe. Have the Black Dragon's spies in the human race found any news? Did you manage to infiltrate Star Moon City? They didn't infiltrate Star Moon City. The teleportation array to Star Moon City is heavily guarded. If they aren't familiar with it, they won't be able to teleport. However, the woman that Heavenly Concubine is looking for has appeared. She is currently in Star Moon City. Longzhe said. Then we won't wait any longer. Organize the information and make preparations to attack Star Moon City. Mo Tianji clenched her fists tightly, producing cracking sounds. We can't. Many experts have gathered in Star Moon City. According to our spies, Divine Capital City's King Yawu, Heaven Desolate City's Grand Elder, Green Rock Old Ancestor, Golden Dragon King, and Blood Qilin King are all in Ethereal Empire's territory. Attacking them now is suicide. Longzhe shook his head and said, currently, black dragons couldn't walk in front of others. However, black dragons still had some human subordinates. Therefore they could still scout for information. Mo Tianji looked at Longzhe, her eyes gleaming. Why? What are those old fellows doing in Ethereal Empire's territory? Night Sorrow's younger sister is holding a wedding in Star Moon City. Therefore, we can't make a move recently. Longzhe said. Then wait. Pay close attention to that woman. She can't disappear from our sight. It's very important. We can't make any mistakes. Mo Tianji instructed. Translator. Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation. Longzhe nodded. We're still monitoring her closely. Are those stubborn old fellows willing to work for our Demon Wing clan now? Mo Tianji looked at the other side of the canyon. No. My father has tried to persuade them many times. Longzhe said. Your father still doesn't want to kill them? Mo Tianji asked with a frown. Yes. There's no room for discussion. Lord Heavenly Concubine, it's best that you don't tell my father about this. Longzhe nodded. Mo Tianji snorted coldly, but didn't continue the topic. She knew that because of certain matters, a portion of the Black Dragon race was willing to work for the Demon Wing race because of their bloodline. However, it was impossible for them to slaughter their own race and elders. Night Sorrow picked up his grandpa, grandma, and the others. While he was talking to his grandpa and uncle, he was actually listening to the bragging of the Yu family. At that moment, Puluo arrived. After excusing himself from his grandpa and grandma, Night Sorrow and Puluo went outside. Alliance Master, we caught a spy. He blew himself up before we could get anything out of him. This matter should be related to the Black Dragons. Puluo said. After lying dormant for so many years, it's probably time for them to make a move. There can't be only one spy. Mo Tianji can still bribe some spies over the years. The Black Dragons have been in the Celestial Realm for countless years. It's normal for them to have some subordinate forces of other clans. If they want to get information, they can do it. Night Sorrow said. Then what do we need to do now? Puluo asked. We can't stop them from infiltrating the Ethereal Dynasty. However, Star Moon City can. After all, the teleportation formation to Star Moon City can't be used by people of unknown origins. They can only approach from the outside. The defensive formation is also real. Therefore, the Ethereal Dynasty is still the main defense. Night Sorrow thought for a while and said, Okay. The experts of our forces are already hiding in the Ethereal Dynasty. If they dare to fight, then they can forget about returning. Puluo nodded. He had only come to inform Night Sorrow. As for the deployment, they had already made the necessary arrangements. Puluo, thank you for your hard work. Drink a few more cups. Night Sorrow nodded to Puluo. Night Sorrow returned to the Night Moon Villa. He planned to ask the Grand Elder and the others if they had any information about the Black Dragon's subordinate forces. If they did, he planned to make a move against Mo Tianji and the Black Dragons after Yin Yanxiao and the others' wedding. Because his main body and avatar had both gone to the reincarnation battlefield, he wouldn't be able to rest assured if he wasn't in Star Moon City for a period of time. After arriving at the Night Moon Villa's VIP building, Night Sorrow discovered that King Yanwu and the others were talking with Wu Lingfei. The Ice Phoenix clan's elders weren't present. Night Sorrow, take a seat. The Grand Elder pointed to a seat for Night Sorrow. King Yanwu nodded to Wu Lingfei. This seat is acquainted with your parents. Our relationship isn't bad. Therefore, I'll say a few more words today. Look at how others treat you. The main thing is the starting point. If the starting point isn't bad, then some things can be forgiven. Chapter 1987. It's nothing, just some small friction, Wu Lingfei said. Lie to me? That Elder Qin of the Ice Phoenix clan promised me when he came last time. He said that he wouldn't let you suffer any grievances. What is this now? Night Sorrow stood up and walked towards the loft where he used to live. Night Sorrow, sit down first and listen to me. The Grand Elder stood up and stopped Night Sorrow. Then the Grand Elder told him about the conflict between Wu Lingfei and the Elders Guild. Night Sorrow, they just want the Ice Phoenix clan leader to achieve more quickly. They don't have any ill intentions, Chirui said. Night Sorrow understands. I can endure it this time, but I have something to tell them. Breaking a promise once is enough, but don't blame me for being hostile next time. Night Sorrow got up and went to the loft where he was resting. Several elders of the Ice Phoenix clan were there. Region Lord Knight, King Yawu and the Grand Elder are here. Seeing them, the Ice Phoenix clan's third elder Huang Yu and the other elders cupped their hands. Night Sorrow didn't return the greeting. This time, the Ice Phoenix clan came because my Yi family is going to hold a wedding. I, Night Sorrow, will accept your kind intentions. But when Elder Qin of your Ice Phoenix clan came to pick her up, he promised me that he wouldn't let my Aunt Faye suffer any grievances. In the end, you restricted her freedom? Locked her in the ancestral land? I think Region Lord Knight has misunderstood. Huang Yu's expression changed. We all know whether it's a misunderstanding or not. You don't have to explain it to me. A promise should be valued by a righteous cultivator. This time, I will not pursue it for the sake of the seniors and my Aunt Faye's feelings. If such a thing happens again, with me Night Sorrow, here, things won't end well. Your Ice Phoenix clan has a long history and is powerful, but you can also try to see if I, Night Sorrow, can fight to the end. He waved his hand and smashed a table, then turned and left. Elder Huang Yu, don't make things difficult for us. You're already lacking in this matter. Remember, promises are not meant to be broken. Chirui, who was originally very amiable, also changed his attitude. King Yawu and the Grand Elder did not leave. The two of them sat down. Lord King Yawu, you see? Domain Lord Ye's attitude is a little too domineering, an Ice Phoenix clan elder said. He's a bit domineering. Perhaps. However, I, as your martial uncle, support your domineering attitude. Originally, I had a few words to say, but it seems like I won't be able to speak with you. I will speak after meeting your old patriarch and the heavenly astral king. King Yawu, who had been sitting down, shook his head and stood up to leave. This made Huang Yu and the others' expressions turn ugly, because this meant that the true experts who had come were all on Night Sorrow's side. Look at the main F version of the chapter, top K. 8. The Ice Phoenix clan belonged to the matriarchal Divine Beast clan. Generally, a woman would be the Ice Phoenix clan's empress, and her husband would be the Ice Phoenix clan's king. The previous Ice Phoenix clan's empress was Wu Lingfei's mother, who was titled Spirit Empress. Her father was the Ice Phoenix clan's expert, the Heavenly Astral King. Currently, Wu Lingfei's title was Empress. Night Sorrow knew your new empress when he was in the core condensation stage. Along the way, they were closer than family. Therefore, in terms of concept, You have underestimated Night Sorrow's importance to this relationship. Night Sorrow is the alliance master of the Humanitarian League, the human emperor of the human clan, and the human emperor of the 100 Races Alliance. Therefore, no one will say that Night Sorrow is in the wrong in this conflict. How to resolve the conflict is up to you. If things get ugly, it won't be good for anyone. The main thing is that you will lose your trust and righteousness. The Grand Elder left 2 words of advice and left. Huang Yu was dumbfounded. She didn't think it was a big deal, but now that things had gotten out of hand, it was hard to say how it would end. Third Elder, how should we deal with this matter? An elder asked. I can't deal with this matter. We have to wait for the Grand Elder to return from the stellar sky space. Originally, I thought that after we decided to lock Empress Fei in the ancestral land, we would apologize to Empress Fei. It seems that things aren't that simple, Huang Yu said. The Ice Phoenix clan's matter wasn't so complicated. It was Wu Lingfei's mother who had been in seclusion and hadn't come out. The order to bring Wu Lingfei back was given by a soul incarnation. After bringing Wu Lingfei back, the Grand Elder, Huang Qin, went to the stellar sky space where the Stellar Sky King was. Because there were restrictions on entering and exiting the stellar sky space, Huang Yu hadn't returned yet. The Ice Phoenix clan's matters were decided by the Elder Council. Wu Lingfei wanted to go to the 9 Regions world, but the Elder Council didn't agree and locked her in the ancestral land to cultivate. This matter has left a grudge in Empress Fei's heart, and it's very serious. She doesn't want to talk to us now, another elder said. Let's wait for the wedding to be over. After we return to the clan, we will discuss how to solve this problem. Huang Yu sighed. She thought that this matter would be resolved after talking to King Yewu, the Grand Elder, and the others. Now, she understood that this matter was very serious. Wu Lingfei was originally easy to talk to. She was very amiable in the Ice Phoenix clan. However, the matter involving Night Sorrow made her explode. Since then, Wu Lingfei didn't communicate with others. Night Sorrow's attitude was even more radical. He didn't even hesitate to turn hostile. After leaving the loft where the Ice Phoenix clan's elders were resting, Night Sorrow was still angry. After arriving at the VIP building, Night Sorrow sat beside Wu Lingfei. Aunt Fei, you won't go back this time. If they want you to go back, then they will come and take you back. They didn't dare to do it last time, but they dare to do it this time? Okay, Aunt Fei will listen to you. Aunt Fei was born in the 9 Regions world. The 9 Regions world is Aunt Fei's home. You are Aunt Fei's relative. If they want to interfere, Aunt Fei won't give in, Wu Lingfei said. This matter needs to be resolved, but we can't be too radical, the Grand Elder reminded Night Sorrow. Senior Uncle, Grand Elder, this time, my avatar won't go to the reincarnation battlefield. When the God-slaying team arrives, my original body will stop cultivating and come out to lead the team. Night Sorrow stated his decision. The Ice Phoenix clan's matter isn't that complicated. The Heavenly Astral King and the previous clan leader are reasonable people. So when they appear, the problem will be resolved. If your original body comes out, it will delay your cultivation progress, the Grand Elder said. It's not just the Ice Phoenix clan's matter. The Humanitarian League caught a spy. It should be Mo Tianji and the Black Dragons who are about to take action. At this time, my original body and combat avatar aren't in the Ethereal Dynasty and Starmoon City. Night Sorrow feels uneasy. Night Sorrow stated another reason for his decision. Caught a spy? Did you get any information? King Yewu asked. There isn't much specific information. They self-destructed, but in their storage rings we found a crystal ball with Guanyu Jun Xuanji's image. The person who cares about Jun Xuanji is Mo Tianji. Night Sorrow told King Yewu and the others about the Humanitarian League's arrival. Chapter 1988. How about this? Your doppelganger and the God-slaying squad don't move first. Wait until you're done here before going over. You can go over by yourself anyway. Once you're done, you can go over with the God-slaying squad, King Yewu said. That's fine too. I'll go over after they attack. Night Sorrow nodded. This arrangement was reasonable. The Black Dragons have 2 Black Dragon Kings and several elders. If Mo Tianji leads them to attack, you won't have enough people on your side. You have to be careful, the Grand Elder said. The black dragons are the dragon's problem. I have to take responsibility. I don't have anything else to do, so I'll stay here with you, Night Sorrow, the Golden Dragon King said. Senior Golden Dragon King, there are some things that you don't have to shoulder. The black dragon's problem involves their bloodline. It's not anyone's fault that they're in this situation, Night Sorrow said. He saw that the Golden Dragon King was a little dispirited and depressed. Perhaps you're right. As long as they dare to fight, this king can only kill them. The Golden Dragon King nodded at Night Sorrow. You're not enough by yourself. I'll accompany you. Chirue reached out and patted the Golden Dragon King's shoulder. X plus X plus X plus X. Old friend, this king won't be polite. Let's fight side by side. The Golden Dragon King nodded at Chirue. Then, without caring about the attitude of the Ice Phoenix Elders, Night Sorrow brought Wu Lingfei to Starmoon City. Wu Lingfei had a good relationship with the Yi family. Her arrival added a lot of joy to the Yi family. The Grand Elder sent people to mobilize the Heaven Wasteland army and secretly set up camp in the ethereal Imperial City. Then he appeased the elders of the Ice Phoenix race. He didn't want to give them face, but he still had to give them a way out. After one night, the wedding officially began. The host was the Grand Elder. It could be said that this wedding was of the highest standard in the celestial realm. The elders of the two newlyweds were in the same area. There was only an empty space between them. Night Sorrow held his two sisters' hands and handed them over to Longjin and Tianyu. He didn't say anything and only patted their shoulders. The newlyweds bowed to heaven and earth, to their parents, to each other, and then to the offering of tea. To Night Sorrow's surprise, after the two couples offered tea to their respective elders, they solemnly brought their teacups to him. That's not appropriate. I can't afford it, Night Sorrow said. You are worthy of being the captain. With a brother like you, Longjin feels at ease, Longjin said. Brother, because of the dragon language, you were misunderstood and exiled to Heaven Wasteland. You suffered a lot, but you didn't explain and didn't complain at all. Your attitude towards the dragon language has always been the same, so brother must drink this cup of tea. The dragon language said seriously. Good. As long as you two are well, I will be happy. Remember, no matter what racial grudges you have, as long as there is love in your heart, you will be happy. Night Sorrow took the tea and drank it in one gulp. Brother Shursan, this tea for me and Nianxiao. We don't need to say anything else, right? Tianyu took the teacup from Night Sorrow. After drinking the tea, the formal ceremony of the wedding came to an end. Then came the banquet. Night Sorrow couldn't be absent from the reception, because many people came for Night Sorrow. They all came because of Night Sorrow. For people like Kirin, the Golden Dragon King, and the people from the Humanitarian League, the others couldn't receive them. The banquet lasted for a long time, but Starmoon City was well prepared. Wine was constantly served. As long as it was drinkable, there would be wine. In the evening, the banquet finally ended. Night Sorrow sent the two couples to the bridal chamber in Ethereal Imperial City, and brought the guests to stay in Ethereal Imperial City. Longjin and Tianyu's wedding came to an end. King Yanwu and the others also had to leave. He told Night Sorrow to open the defensive formation of Night Moon Manor. This way, the Golden Dragon King and Blood Qilin King would be in Night Moon Manor. Even if the Devil-Winged race and the Black Dragons investigated, they wouldn't be able to find anything. As the guests were sent off, Starmoon City and Night Moon Manor slowly quieted down. Longjin, Dragon Language, Tianyu, and Yi Nianxiao met up with the God-slaying squad, and continued to cultivate in Starmoon City. After the guests left, the elders of the Ice Phoenix race felt uneasy. After the wedding, they didn't see Wu Lingfei, let alone her return to the Ice Phoenix race. Helpless, they found Night Sorrow, who was cultivating his spear arts. Region Lord Knight, this celebration is over. We can't stay here forever. We have to go back, but we haven't seen Lord Imperial Concubine in the past 2 days, Huang Yu said. It's like this. My Aunt Concubine hasn't come back for a long time. She's with my mother and my wife. She's been cultivating for the past few hundred years. She's very tired and needs to rest. Also, I'm very dissatisfied with some things. You all know this. I won't make things difficult for anyone, But whoever comes to take my aunt concubine away must have an explanation, Knight Sorrow said as he put away the blood-chilling evil punishing spear. This. Huang Yu was a bit dumbfounded. She understood the situation now. Knight Sorrow didn't want to let her go back with them. It was impossible for them to take her away by force. You don't have to make things difficult. Lord Imperial Concubine and Lord Heavenly Astral King are about to come out of seclusion. It won't be a problem for any of them to come. If they're dissatisfied, you can push it to me, Knight Sorrow said. Elder Huang Yu, let's do as Knight Sorrow said. The matter will be resolved peacefully, Qilin said. All right. Lord Imperial Concubine is here. I'll have to trouble Region Lord Knight. Huang Yu knew that they couldn't take Wu Ling Concubine away. After the people of the Ice Phoenix clan left, Yishan cultivated every day. Half a month passed. On this day Knight Sorrow, who was cultivating his spear arts, suddenly stopped. Then his face was full of smiles. After the two doppelgangers deduced the theory of the fusion of the life and death attributes for more than 10 years, his main body had also succeeded in the fusion. The successful fusion of the life and death attributes meant that Knight Sorrow only had 4 attributes left. After fusing 2, he didn't have to be too distracted when cultivating. It could be said that his future cultivation path would be much easier. His actual combat strength would also increase by a lot. What made you so happy? The Golden Dragon King and Blood Qilin King saw Knight Sorrow's excited state and walked out of their resting loft. Lord Golden Dragon King, I've made a small achievement in the fusion of attributes, Knight Sorrow said with a smile. Fusion of attributes? Show it to me. This king wants to see it. The Golden Dragon King was very interested. Nodding, Knight Sorrow casually threw out a punch. When this punch was thrown out, the wind from the punch changed between green and yellow. That was the effect of the limitless attribute. Chapter 1989. A high-level combination of opposing attributes. Very good. Very impressive. You've already successfully fused time and space. Now that you've fused life and death, you've taken another huge step on the heaven-defying path of cultivation, the Golden Dragon King said to Yishan. Knight Sorrow, you have the reincarnation attribute. This is not a secret to some people. The reincarnation attribute is very complicated. It is said to be destruction, time, space, life, and death. Simply put, it is destruction, time, and infinity. Even more simply, reincarnation is reincarnation. Do you understand what that means? Blood Qilin King said to Knight Sorrow. Knight Sorrow froze for a moment, but then he understood what Blood Qilin King meant. All attributes had to be combined. If the taboo attribute was separated, it would be 5 attributes. If it was combined, it would be 1 attribute. It is very difficult to cultivate a taboo attribute. First, you must have a pure supreme attribute as a foundation. That excludes too many people. In the last reincarnation of the celestial realm, there was only 1 human king. This reincarnation also has 1 human king. It is destiny and order. You are from the 9-zone world, so you have broken this rule. Take it slow. You can do it, the Golden Dragon King said. Both of you are esteemed seniors. I have some questions that I would like to ask, Yishan said as he looked at the Golden Dragon King and the Blood Qilin King. Qilin King owes you a favor. You and my nephew are brothers. We will not be stingy with what we can tell you. The Golden Dragon King smiled. After cultivating the reincarnation attribute, can you cultivate the beginning attribute? Will the 2 taboo attributes clash? Knight Sorrow asked the question that had been bothering him. We have never touched the taboo attribute. Normally, there should not be a clash. Life and death are opposites. Didn't you cultivate them and combine them? But this is just speculation. No one has ever cultivated them, so we cannot be sure. If you want to cultivate them, you have to be careful. The Golden Dragon King said. Thank you, I understand. Knight Sorrow nodded. For your path, others can only give you some suggestions. As for guidance, no one can give you any pointers. Chirue patted Knight Sorrow's shoulder. Knight Sorrow was walking a path that no one had ever walked before. There was nothing to learn from, and no one had any experience in this area. After talking to the 2 of them, Night Sorrow began to study the newbie's infinity attribute. After Night Sorrow fused the death and life attributes, his control over the worldly momentum was at 30%. The worldly momentum of the death attribute decreased while the worldly momentum of the life attribute increased. This was the result of the fusion. While Night Sorrow was studying Wuji's attributes, the Humanitarian League's people were still setting up defenses. Even if they discovered the spies, they just stared at them and did not make a move. Mo Tianji kept receiving information from the subordinate forces of the Black Dragons. In addition, Mo Tianji also counted the members of the Black Dragons who could participate in the battle. Currently, the Black Dragons had 3 Emperor's Tribulation Cultivators, 4 Emperor's Tribulation Cultivators, and a few more Emperor's Tribulation Cultivators. There were more King-level Black Dragons. Originally, the Black Dragons were stronger, but some elders were unwilling to become enemies with the 100 races of the Celestial Realm, let alone work for the Demon-Winged race. They would rather die than be willing. Long Zhe, get ready. We will attack and take down the 9 domain worlds in one go. This way, both the Black Dragons and I will have a safe place. When the Demon-Winged race of Tianhuang invades, we will work together to overthrow the Celestial Realm. Mo Tianji said. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor. Endless Fantasy Translation Tian section are okay, but remember what you promised us. After this is over, you have to give us the Black Dragons. Long Zhe said. Mo Tianji nodded. There were some things she did not say to Long Zhe. In terms of experience, a few Long Zhes were not as good as her. After some analysis, she realized that the 9 domain worlds might be the new sovereign worlds of the Celestial Realm after the origin of the Celestial Realm fell. This made Mo Tianji pay more attention to the attack on Xingyue City. Once they invaded and took over the 9 domain worlds, the 100 races of the Celestial Realm would be in a passive position. By the time the 100 races of the Celestial Realm reacted, it would be too late. Long Zhe left Mo Tianji's side and went deep into the canyon. He wanted to talk to his father about the situation. Long Zhe's father, Long Tianyuan, was the previous leader of the Black Dragons. However, he was injured during the attack on Tianhuang City. In order to recover, he gave the position to Long Zhe. Seeing Long Zhe arrive, Long Tianyuan set up a barrier. Long Zhe, what do you want to say? This Mo Tianji will fall out with us sooner or later. You have to be careful. Long Tianyuan said. She is using us. She will never truly accept us. Long Zhe knows this. We have already betrayed the 100 races of the Celestial Realm. Now, we only hope that grandmother and mother can come back safely. Also, are the 2 Black Dragon eggs still there? Long Zhe said in a low voice. Long Tianyuan did not say anything. He was helpless about some things. At the beginning of this reincarnation, due to the impact of the previous reincarnation war, a portion of the Demon-Winged race remained in the Celestial Realm. Half of them went to the Black Dragons. They obtained the 2 dragon eggs from the previous reincarnation's Black Dragon King, and used them to threaten the Black Dragon King. Back then, the Black Dragon King could only compromise for the continuation of his ancestors' bloodline. The result of compromise was intermarriage. Long Tianyuan's mother and wife were both women of the Demon-Winged race. Long Zhe had more of the Demon-Winged race's bloodline, because his grandmother and mother were both from the Demon-Winged race. Now these 2 women of the Demon-Winged race were not with the Black Dragons. They had been hidden by the Demon-Winged race. Not only Long Tianyuan and Long Zhe, but there were also many Black Dragons and Demon-Winged race who had intermarried. We are despicable. Only this king's father had the courage to self-destruct for the sake of the Black Dragon King's descendant in the previous reincarnation. However, we don't have the courage to do so. We have been working for the Demon-Winged race, causing the Celestial Realm to no longer accept us. Hee. Does she think that we don't know if Mo Tianji doesn't say anything? The 9 domains world is the new supreme world. She wants it, but so do we. As long as we fight our way in, we will fall out with her and kill her. Then, the Demon-Winged race and the 100 races of the Celestial Realm will have nothing to do with us. Long Tianyuan said. Long Zhe nodded. He once thought that if he worked for the Demon-Winged race seriously, they would treat him as one of their own. However, Mo Tianji had never been courteous to him. She had completely treated the black dragons as tools. This made him very angry. Remember, protect those elders first. Although those elders are stubborn, it is not the time to kill them. They are good fighters. We need them. Once we take down the 9 domains world, we will kill them when they are of no value. Longzhe, remember this. We are not the black dragons or the demon-winged race. They all deserve to die. Long Tianyuan's face was filled with killing intent. Mo Tianji and Longzhe's deployment was still in progress. They were infiltrating the Misty Dynasty through spatial treasures. Chapter 1990. Mo Tianji and Longzhe had discussed that there were 2 ways to attack Star Moon City. The first was to attack Star Moon City directly. The second was to take down the Night Moon Manor first. There were many drawbacks to attacking Star Moon City directly. Star Moon City was surrounded by Star Moon Lake. It was unrealistic to attack silently. In a frontal attack, Star Moon City had a city protecting array. Lu Qi was also guarding the city. It was impossible to attack instantly. If they couldn't take down the city quickly, reinforcements would arrive through the teleportation array. If they wanted to cut off the reinforcements of Star Moon City, they would have to take down the Night Moon Manor in the Ethereal Imperial City. In addition, they could use the Night Moon Manor's teleportation array to reach the core of Star Moon City. If they broke the teleportation array, Star Moon City would be isolated. After analyzing the pros and cons, Mo Tianji and Longzhe decided to attack the Night Moon Manor directly. Through the spatial treasure brought by the Black Dragon's spies, Mo Tianji and the Black Dragon's troops arrived at the Ethereal Imperial City. All the Black Dragon's members who could fight had already joined the battle. Longzhe even set up an Emperor-grade teleportation array in the Nirvana Ocean's Grand Canyon. He also set up an Emperor-grade teleportation array stronghold in a secret location outside the Ethereal Imperial City. Longzhe was very clear that if they succeeded in this war, Star Moon City would be completely sealed off by the Heaven Realm's 100 races. It would be impossible for them to come out openly. Hence, it was necessary to set up an Emperor-ranked teleportation array. When everyone gathered in the Ethereal Imperial City, Mo Tianji, who had concealed her aura and set up a barrier, met with Longzhe in an inn. Of course, Long Tianyuan was also present. Elder Tianyuan, do you have any battle plans? Mo Tianji looked at Long Tianyuan and asked. She was very polite when speaking to Long Tianyuan, because Long Tianyuan was a true expert. He was the strongest expert in this battle. First, cut off their reinforcements. Let Longya attack the teleportation array of the Ethereal Imperial City. This way, their Emperor-grade teleportation array will be ineffective. The troops of Desolate Heaven City and Divine Capital City won't have enough time to arrive. Long Tianyuan said. All right, break the teleportation formation. Then, we will attack Star Moon City with all our might. Clan leader Longza, is our backup teleportation formation ready? If they destroy Star Moon City's teleportation array, we will need to get close to Star Moon City immediately, Mo Tianji said. It's been arranged. Longzhe nodded. He had already made some arrangements for the battle. We'll attack tonight. Night Moon Mountain Villa's defensive formation. We need to break it as soon as possible. After saying that, Mo Tianji went to rest to prepare for tonight's battle. Mo Tianji's heart, which hadn't been moved for many years, was now greatly moved. This battle was too important to the Devil Wing clan and to her. The 9-domain world was the future supreme world. It had a lifespan of 1,000 reincarnations. Whoever could rule the 9-domain world would be able to control the future. In addition, Mo Tianji would be able to return to her peak state after obtaining the true body. At that time, she would have the chance to reach the supreme realm of cultivation after fusing with Jun Xuanji. She, Mo Tianji, was publicly recognized as a cultivator with endless potential in the Devil Wing clan. Her body had already cultivated Dao rhythm. After changing her clothes, Mo Tianji sat cross-legged with her palms together. She prayed to the Devil Wing clan's ancestor in her heart. At this time, Night Sorrow, who was cultivating his spear art, froze. This was because he felt the fluctuation of one of his soul imprints. $= when Night Sorrow walked towards the VIP building, The Golden Dragon Bay and Blood-Chilling King also came to find Night Sorrow. Seniors, the other party is here. Night Sorrow said. It's not surprising that we know. How did you know? Chilin looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. I left 2 soul imprints on her body. She destroyed one of them. There's still 1 imprint left. Seniors, you can sense her. How can she not sense you? It's easy to ruin things like that. Night Sorrow said worriedly. Why did your martial uncle ask you to activate the defensive array? Because this array, which uses the ice dragon's skeleton as the core, has an ice sealing effect. It can freeze some senses and auras. The aura within the array cannot be sensed from the outside, but we can sense it from the outside. The Golden Dragon King looked at the ice dragon's skeleton and said, Senior Golden Dragon King, we had no choice but to use the ice dragon's skeleton to set up the array. My uncle Shilia said that as long as we don't destroy the skeleton, it's not blasphemy. It can also let more people know about the existence of ice dragons. Night Sorrow explained to the Golden Dragon King. I understand. I also know what kind of person you are. I've talked with Shilia before. When this matter comes to an end, the ice dragons should return to the celestial realm to develop. The dragons also need to be reorganized. The Golden Dragon King said. Night Sorrow nodded. Then the 3 of them discussed for a while. Then, the 3 of them called for the main personnel in the Night Moon Villa to make arrangements. The war was about to break out. Night Sorrow, what's your plan? Make the arrangements now. The Golden Dragon King said to Night Sorrow. Sister Xian Air, your doppelganger will guard the teleportation formation in the ethereal Imperial City. You can't let it be destroyed. If you can't guard it, you can take the Emperor-level teleportation crystal. You can't let it fall into the enemy's hands or be damaged. Night Sorrow said to Lin Piaomiao. Okay, no problem. Lin Piaomiao nodded. Puluo, you're the law enforcement elder of the Council of Elders. You can mobilize the Heaven Wasteland Army. Send your doppelganger to the Heaven Wasteland Army's encampment. Stay in the villa. When the battle starts, send your doppelganger to lead the 2 divisions of the Heaven Wasteland Army and quickly seal off the area. This time, kill all those who don't surrender their weapons. Night Sorrow said to Puluo. Don't worry, it will be done. Puluo nodded. Aluo, send your doppelganger to inform the Star Moon City. Tell all unrelated personnel to retreat and station there. If they attack from 2 directions, you and the 7 elders must protect the teleportation formation, including the backup teleportation formation. Night Sorrow said to Datura. Okay. Datura nodded. At this moment, Elder Lan of the Ethereal Imperial Court arrived at the Night Moon Villa. Lin Piaomiao had sent someone here alone to avoid alerting the spies. Elder Lan, inform the Ethereal Imperial Court's army to set up an encirclement outside the Ethereal Imperial City. After the war starts, no one can escape. Night Sorrow said to Elder Lan. Night Sorrow, what about the outside of the Star Moon City? If their main forces are there, they will be caught if they want to escape. Chirue said. Some of the Humanitarian League's armies are already stationed there. Night Sorrow said. I've heard that you're good at commanding battles. Looks like you live up to your reputation. Your plan is flawless. Chirue said with a smile. Night Sorrow shook his head. Senior, I'll give you a mission this time. Mo Tianji can't be allowed to live. Her existence is a great threat to the celestial realm. Okay, I'll take her down. Chirue nodded. Chapter 1991. Senior Golden Dragon King. After this calamity, there will be a new generation. The Black Dragons still have the dragon language. Perhaps there will be some members of the Black Dragons who are unwilling to wallow in the mire. If the Black Dragon's fate is not exhausted, there will still be a world for them in the future, Night Sorrow said. Since the virtuous Emperor has said so, then the Black Dragons may have a chance to live. However, this king is going to start a massacre today. A golden longsword appeared in the Golden Dragon King's hand. Old friend, why are you holding this? Isn't this a taboo? Chirue's expression changed when he saw the golden longsword in the Golden Dragon King's hand. The longsword in the Golden Dragon King's hand was very famous. It had existed in the Golden Dragon clan several reincarnations ago. The name of the sword was Dragon Slaying Sword, and it was specially made by an evil cultivator for Golden Dragon clan. That evil cultivator was killed by the Golden Dragon clan, but no one could deny the power of the Dragon Slaying Sword. The Dragon Slaying Sword had always been sealed on Dragon Island. Today the Golden Dragon King took out the Dragon Slaying Sword, which showed his determination. As the Dragon King of all dragons, he was going to be ruthless and clean up the clan. Taboo. Yes. If there is blood, then it is either the dragons who rebelled or this king. The black dragons caused you to lose your virtuous body. You don't want to say anything, but this king can't turn a blind eye to it. Old friend, I am sorry. The Golden Dragon King looked at Chirue and said, "Why are you here again? We have been friends for so many years. Is there a need to be so pretentious over such a small matter?" Chirue patted the Golden Dragon King's shoulder. The Blood Qilin King Chirue and the Golden Dragon King Longbatian were best friends. The Blood Qilin was a virtuous and auspicious beast, and it was famous in the world. The Golden Dragon was the overlord of the divine beasts. Even though it didn't have any special heaven and earth luck, everyone knew that the Golden Dragon was naturally domineering, and it did things righteously. There was a saying that had been passed down for a long time. If one's body wasn't righteous, one wouldn't have golden scales. In other words, even if one was born in the Golden Dragon clan, if one had an evil heart, they would not grow golden scales. Let's fight side by side this time. The Golden Dragon King held the dragon slaying sword in his right hand and patted Kirin's arm with his left. "Batian, how many eras has it been since the last time we fought together?" Chirue said with a smile. "Don't mention it. Didn't that old brat Moutian escape in the end?" The Golden Dragon King chuckled. "It can't be helped. That old man is really strong," Chirue said with a smile. The three greatest heavens of the Demon-Winged clan were peerless experts. In the celestial realm, only the lord of the city of Tianhuang, King Yiwu, and the Grand Elder could fight against them. Others, even the patriarchs of the divine beasts, would not be able to do so. This was something that the patriarchs of the divine beasts also agreed with. G update D Noir. The fastest tick on C? And Night Sorrow was thinking about some unstable factors in the war. From time to time, he would issue some orders for small details. Looking at Night Sorrow's arrangements, the Golden Dragon King, Night Sorrow, and Chirue all nodded. They felt that there was no need to add anything at all. They were only responsible for the battle. As for the arrangements and deployment, Night Sorrow had made the appropriate arrangements. Senior Chirue, how is Ice Qilin now? After issuing the orders regarding the deployment, Night Sorrow brewed a pot of tea. Very good. He has entered the pool of holy light to modify his bloodline. Because his soul is the Blood Qilin's soul, there are no drawbacks in the modification of his bloodline. However, he should only be able to fully recover after entering the Emperor realm. Night Sorrow, you have made up for my regret. This time, we will kill Mo Tianji first to avenge my son, Chirue said. Both sides were ready and waiting for the battle to begin. Mo Tianji planned to attack in the second half of the night. Although there was no difference between day and night for cultivators, most of them would be in a meditative state in the second half of the night. This would catch them off guard. Night Sorrow and the others waited in the Night Moon Villa for Mo Tianji and the Black Dragons to attack. Night Sorrow practiced his spear art. Chirue and Longbatian would sometimes give different opinions. This was very helpful to Night Sorrow. Chirue and the Golden Dragon King's understanding of battle was incomparable to ordinary people. The moon was setting in the west. Mo Tianji waved her hand and opened the barrier of the inn. Longzhe, bring your men out. The battle has begun. After speaking, Mo Tianji flew towards the Night Moon Villa. As she flew, her white hair fluttered in the air and whipped towards the defensive array of the Night Moon Villa. Longzhe and Long Tianyuan also attacked. They appeared in their original bodies and charged towards the Night Moon Villa. They wanted to break through the defense of the Night Moon Villa and then take over the teleportation array. Suddenly, the great defensive array of the Night Moon Villa was shut down. Next, a claw covered in black scales appeared to grab Mo Tianji's 30,000 zhang long white hair. Then, the claw coiled around it before pulling it towards the ground. Fallen Sky Scale Claw. It was Chirui. He blocked the attack of Mo Tianji's white hair and controlled it. While Long Tianyuan and Long Zhe were in a daze, another attack came from the Night Moon Villa. A golden sword chi slashed towards Long Tianyuan. It was the Golden Dragon King. Lin Piaomiao started to attack Long Zhe. Long Zhe was a Tribulation 4 Emperor's cultivator. He was 2 tribulations higher than Lin Piaomiao. However, Lin Piaomiao was not afraid. She was still angry from the battle at the Blood Kirin Mountain. Dragon Slaying Sword. Long Batian, are you crazy? A huge dragon claw fell from the sky. It was Long Tianyuan's. The Golden Dragon King's domineering sword cut off Long Tianyuan's claw. He didn't understand the situation and tried to block the sword chi. It's not that I'm crazy, it's you guys who are crazy. Since you don't want to live a good life, then all of you can die today. Golden Dragon King Long Batian swung his dragon-slaying sword at Long Tianyuan. Black dragons retreat. They have an ambush. Long Tianyuan knew he had fallen into a trap. He wasn't as strong as the Golden Dragon King. Plus, the Golden Dragon King had the dragon-slaying sword, which was specially used to deal with dragons. Mo Tianji and Chirui were also being beaten up. Chirui's left arm turned into a left front claw and wrapped around Mo Tianji's white hair. Then he used his right fist aura and flames to attack Mo Tianji. Mo Tianji could only defend. Mo Tianji had an absolute advantage against Emperor rank cultivators. She wasn't even afraid of Emperor rank cultivators. She could crush them. However, she couldn't compare to Chirui. Chirui's cultivation realm was lower than hers, but his energy far exceeded hers. Chirui attacked Mo Tianji crazily. Night Sorrow didn't attack. He stood in front of the teleportation array and watched the battle. In just a few rounds, the Black Dragon's old chief Long Tianyuan was heavily injured by the Golden Dragon King. With the natural bloodline suppression and the Golden Dragon King's dragon-slaying sword, Long Tianyuan was far from being a match. A pair of black wings appeared on the heavily injured Long Tianyuan's back. He flapped his wings and wanted to escape. The opponent he didn't want to face the most was the Golden Dragon King. Demon Winged Race Bloodline. Then die. Dragon soars the 9 heavens. The Golden Dragon King's body flashed, and he flew into the sky. Golden dragon images filled the sky. Then a golden energy dragon claw pressed Long Tianyuan to the ground. Dragon slaying. Chapter 1992. After chopping off Long Tianyuan's head, the Golden Dragon King's dragon-slaying sword vibrated again, and chopped off Long Tianyuan's head, not giving his soul power a chance to escape. Everything happened too quickly. Long Tianyuan didn't even have time to release his doppelganger, so both his original body and the doppelganger in his divine sea were killed. Long Zhe's doppelganger blocked Lin Piaomiao. His main body had already started running. At this moment, he was scared out of his wits. The Golden Dragon King with the dragon-slaying sword was too scary. He had to run. If he continued fighting, he would die. Long Tianyuan died, Long Zhe ran away, and Mo Tianji was controlled by Chirui to attack. The other black dragons didn't have much fighting spirit. The Golden Dragon King didn't hold back at all. He used his dragon-slaying golden sword, and killed all the black dragons who resisted. With this king here, don't even think about turning the tables. Put down your weapons now and kneel. Otherwise, this king will kill you all. The Golden Dragon King killed Long Zhe's doppelganger with sword chi. At this moment, the black dragons who didn't have much fighting spirit put down their weapons and knelt on the ground. They couldn't do anything under the attacks of the Golden Dragon King, Lin Piaomiao, Great Demon King, Yuzhu, and the others. Pu Luo led the Heaven Wasteland army to surround this place. Pu Luo, help this king lock them all up. This king will take care of them in a bit. The Golden Dragon said to Pu Luo, Devil Wing Clan dared to kill my son. Today you will die. His left claw grabbed Mo Tianji's white hair while his right hand turned into a large energy hand and slapped towards Mo Tianji. Chirui, this momentary advantage is nothing. I will be back. Devil Flame Sky Burning, Devil Wings Blood Escape. Flames appeared on Mo Tianji's body. The white hair in Chirui's grasp started burning. Following that, the wings on her back glowed with a blood-red light. Her body floated backwards. She was planning to retreat. Her speed of retreat was much faster than when she fought Lu Qi. She was now a peak emperor rank. The energy and essence blood in her body were different from 700 years ago. Seeing Mo Tianji run, the Golden Dragon King released a beam of sword energy. This sword chi was extremely fast. It pierced through Mo Tianji's back and cut down, shattering her dantian. Boom. Red flames appeared on Mo Tianji's body. At this moment, Chirue's energy hand slapped towards Mo Tianji. Before Chirue's energy hand fell, a red light appeared and rushed forward. Soul Extinguishing Slash. Night Sorrow used Soul Extinguishing Slash after discovering that the red light was a soul. The Soul Extinguishing Slash slashed through the air and struck the red light, destroying a part of it. All of you deserve to die. Night Sorrow, you must die. Following Mo Tianji's roar, the red light tore through space and disappeared. The red light disappeared, and Mo Tianji's heavily injured body fell to the ground. Her eyes were gray because she had no soul. That red light was Mo Tianji's soul body that had used the burning of her essence blood to escape. She got away in the end. Night Sorrow sighed. Don't worry. Her soul has been forced out of her body continuously. Her soul body is already heavily injured. You destroyed a third of her soul just now. She won't be able to achieve anything in the future. She won't be able to reach her previous heights, the Golden Dragon King said. This king knows you. You are the degenerate dragons, Long Yang. Where is Long Tianxue? Where is Long Tianxue? The Golden Dragon King came before a black dragon elder and placed the dragon-slaying sword on his neck. Elder Tianxue is in the canyon by the Nirvana seaside, Long Yang said. Long Yang said. He didn't dare to contradict the Golden Dragon King, as he knew that the Golden Dragon King wouldn't show any mercy. Hide? Do you think you can just hide? You have to pay the price for going against the Celestial Realm's 100 Races Alliance. The Golden Dragon King slapped Long Yang. Lord Golden Dragon King, Elder Tianxue and the others have been locked up for a long time. They lost their freedom a long time ago, Long Yang said. What happened? Tell me the details. The Golden Dragon King was stunned. They were locked up by the previous clan leader, Long Tianyuan. A few other elders were also locked up. This time, the black dragons moved and brought the cages to Silence Canyon, Long Yang said. Bring this king over. Chirue, take care of things here. I want to see Tianxue. I can't let Long Zhe get ahead of me. Night Sorrow, be careful, the Golden Dragon King said to Chirue and Night Sorrow as he lifted Long Yang, who was chained up by Pu Luo. Ruisi, follow the Golden Dragon King. That way, you can pass on the message, Night Sorrow said to Ruisi, who was also staying in the Night Moon Villa. The Golden Dragon King did not reject Night Sorrow's good intentions, and left the Night Moon Villa with Ruisi. Alliance Master, Clan Leader Chirue, should we send these black dragons to Tianhuang City to be locked up? Puluo asked. Yes, send them to Tianhuang City to be locked up and wait for the Golden Dragon King to deal with them. Night Sorrow saw Qinrui nod to indicate that he had no objections and accepted Puluo's suggestion. Z9-inch Aoyuo, is there any movement in Star Moon City? Night Sorrow asked Datira Datira. Datira's main body was in the Night Moon Villa while his clone was in Star Moon City. It's very quiet. There's no movement at all. Datira nodded. Don't worry. Mo Tianji, Long Tianyuan, Long Zhe, and the others are all here. This is probably their target. They want to use this place as a springboard to take down Star Moon City. Since they hit a wall here, they won't do anything else. Their strength is only so much, Chirue said. That should be it. The only regret is that Mo Tianji's soul escaped, Night Sorrow said. Aha. You can't blame me. When a cultivator reaches a certain level, their soul level will be high. It's very difficult to kill them. Your master's soul alone has controlled Mo Tianji for countless years. This is very telling, Chirue said with a smile. Senior Chirue, you misunderstand. Night Sorrow didn't mean that. I just don't know how to talk, Night Sorrow explained. I understand. A cultivator who has gone through the tribulation of the 7 kings has a very strong soul. It's very difficult to kill them. Your soul attack just now, if it was an ordinary soul, it would have killed it instantly. However, when it hit Mo Tianji's soul, It only destroyed a part of her soul power. Yes, she is very strong. This time, we forced her soul out of her body. For her, hundreds of years of recovery will be wasted. It will be very difficult for her to recover in the future. Some of our plans won't be able to be carried out. Besides, we've taken care of the black dragons. We've also taken care of a big problem, Night Sorrow said. The dragons have many members in their branches. The strongest ones are the green dragons and black dragons. You heard it just now. Some of the black dragons' elders were imprisoned. It's clear that there are different opinions. If the Golden Dragon King goes and releases the elders who are unwilling to support the Demon Wing clan, then the problem will be solved, Chirue said. I hope the Golden Dragon King and Lin Yun can reach the Great Valley of Silence before Long Zhe. Then the problem will be solved. Night Sorrow nodded. Long Tianyuan has been killed. Long Zhe is now a frightened bird. He will probably hide. How dare he return to the Great Valley of Silence? Give him 8 guts. Chirue snorted coldly. Chapter 1993. Let's wait and see. I'll go to the Samsara Island when the Golden Dragon King returns. As long as the Samsara Island is stable, the Demon Wing clan won't be able to do anything, Night Sorrow said. This battle was very intense. Several experts of the Black Dragon race had fallen, including the previous Black Dragon King. However, the battle ended as quickly as it started. It didn't even take an hour. The Humanitarian League and the Heaven Wasteland Army captured all the members of the Black Dragons, except for those who were killed. They also found the 2 affiliated forces of the Black Dragons. The Heaven Wasteland Army had already set off. It was impossible to let these forces, which had betrayed the 100 races of the Celestial Realm, continue to exist. Night Sorrow was very happy to kill the Black Dragons and severely injure Mo Tianji again. This meant that the situation could be stabilized for a period of time, and what he needed was time. His forces were still in the period of rapid growth. Chirue stayed in the Night Moon Villa. He had to ensure the safety of the Golden Dragon King as there was no news from the Night Moon Villa. Lin Yun went to find Night Sorrow. She wanted to join the God-slaying team, or the First Army. Night Sorrow took her to ask Chirue for his opinion. Our union has been obedient since she was a child. She has never left the Blood Kirin Mountain. She really needs to explore. I'm not worried about following you. As for your arrangement, I don't have any objections, Chirue said with a smile. Lin Yun had already told him her thoughts. The God-slaying team is not a problem. However, I need to talk to the Grand Elder about the First Army, Night Sorrow said. Okay. Hearing Night Sorrow's agreement, Lin Yun nodded happily. She knew that whether she could join the First Army or the God-slaying team depended on Night Sorrow's attitude. Night Sorrow was the absolute authority in the God-slaying team. No one would object to Night Sorrow's words. It was the same for the First Army. There was only one voice, and even the orders of the Council of Elders were useless. 3 days after the battle, news came that the Golden Dragon King had released all the elders of the Black Dragons who had been imprisoned. Update QXIN plus most. QXIN plus most hurry up the Golden Dragon King appointed Long Tianxue to manage the affairs of the Black Dragons. The surviving members of the Black Dragons had all returned to the Black Dragon's homeland. As for how to deal with the traitors, the Golden Dragon King didn't care. He believed that Long Tianxue would handle it well. There were 6 imprisoned elders, all of whom were very powerful. Knowing that the matter was settled, Night Sorrow planned to set off with his men. However, the Golden Dragon King returned to the Night Moon Villa with a few black-robed elders by his side. Elder Tianxue, I won't introduce Elder Kirui since you already know him. This is Night Sorrow. You should know the specifics. Night Sorrow, the elders of the Black Dragons are here to see the dragon language. This matter might be very important, the Golden Dragon King said. As long as it doesn't hurt the dragon language, I don't have any objections, Night Sorrow expressed his attitude. Of course. The dragon language is the Golden Dragon clan's only young concubine. The Golden Dragon King nodded. Don't worry, Region Lord Knight. The Black Dragons, have done some things that disappointed everyone, but I won't do it again, Long Tianxue promised. After hearing Long Tianxue's promise, Night Sorrow arranged for someone to call Longjin and his wife over from Star Moon City. After Longjin and Dragon Language arrived, they first greeted the Golden Dragon King, then greeted Night Sorrow as elder brother. These are the elders of the Black Dragons. They have some matters to discuss with you. Dragon Language, just do what you need to do. If you have any questions, just call me. Night Sorrow left after saying that. As for how to discuss the matter, he believed that the Golden Dragon King wouldn't let his nephew and niece-in-law suffer. Moreover, Longjin and Dragon Language weren't the type to admit defeat. Night Sorrow arrived at the waterside pavilion and chatted with Lin Piaomiao while drinking tea. After dealing with the Black Dragons and severely injuring Mo Tianji, Night Sorrow felt much more at ease. It could be said that he had resolved a huge crisis in Star Moon City. When do you plan to depart? Lin Piaomiao knew that Night Sorrow was about to leave because the first territory at Samsara Island needed Night Sorrow to lead the team. I'll see how the Dragon Language and the Black Dragons are doing. If there are no problems, I'll lead the God-slaying team and depart, Night Sorrow said. Okay. My original body will return to Star Moon City to cultivate in seclusion. My avatar will stay in Night Moon Villa. If anything happens, I'll deal with it immediately. There won't be anything I can't handle, Lin Piaomiao said. Okay. Also, there's the matter of Aunt Fei. If the Ice Phoenix race's people are important enough, inform my 9-domain world avatar. If not, just send them away. This matter has crossed my bottom line, Night Sorrow said. Don't worry about the family. If I can't handle the pressure, I'll call for help from the Humanitarian League, Lin Piaomiao said with a smile. Night Sorrow also smiled. Now no one could challenge the Humanitarian League. The Humanitarian League now was completely different from the Humanitarian League 700 years ago. Lin Piaomiao and the Great Demon King were trying their best to increase their cultivation. Pu Luo, Ruisi, and Yuzhu naturally wouldn't stop there. Pu Luo had already broken through the tribulation of 3 emperors and was preparing to enter the tribulation of 4 emperors. Ruisi, Yuzhu, and Funtian had settled down for some time. Before Night Sorrow woke up, they had already passed the tribulation of 4 emperors. In other words, among the 7 elders of the Humanitarian League, only Night Sorrow was slightly weaker. The others were all cultivators of the tribulation of 4 emperors. In the 100 Races Elder Council, cultivators of the tribulation of 4 emperors were qualified to be elders of the law enforcement elders. After Night Sorrow and Lin Piaomiao drank 2 pots of tea, the Golden Dragon King, the Black Dragon's elder, Longjin, and Dragon Language walked out of the VIP building. The elders of the Black Dragons saluted Night Sorrow and thanked Night Sorrow again for taking care of Longjin and Dragon Language. They also invited Night Sorrow to be a guest at the Black Dragon's mansion before leaving the Night Moon mansion. Longjin, what did you talk about? It didn't hurt your interests, right? Night Sorrow asked. We were at a disadvantage, but we can't help it. Longjin rubbed his forehead. What did the Dragon Language say? Night Sorrow looked at Dragon Language and asked. They brought the weapon of the Black Dragon King from the previous reincarnation and confirmed that I was one of the 2 missing dragons. Longjin and I are married, but they want our children to continue the bloodline of the Black Dragons. If our children are Golden Dragons, they will be of the Golden Dragon clan. If they are Black Dragons, they will be the future king of the Black Dragons. Dragon Language said. That's reasonable. Longjin, why do you feel like you're at a disadvantage? You have to be honest. Since you married a Black Dragon, you have to do something for the Black Dragons. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Captain, who would be willing to have children all over the place? Wouldn't it be better if they were all on Dragon Island? Longjin muttered. Didn't they say that when a golden dragon marries other dragons, their children will most likely be golden dragons? What are you worried about? Lin Piaomiao said with a smile. That's not the case. The last Black Dragon King from the previous reincarnation was the most outstanding member of the Black Dragons in the history of the Black Dragons. His bloodline is naturally strong, so it's hard to say whether his grandson will be a golden dragon or a black dragon. Golden Dragon King shook his head. Chapter 1994. As the daughter of the strongest Black Dragon King, after the Dragon Language and Dragon Gene combined, No one could tell whether the offspring would be a golden dragon or a black dragon. The Black Dragon King left behind 2 dragon eggs. Where is the other one? Night Sorrow asked. It was taken away by the Demon Wing clan. It might no longer exist. The dragon-headed people in the reincarnation battlefield might have been created by the Demon Wing clan with the help of that dragon egg. This is also the reason why Long Tianxue and the other black dragons are unwilling to cooperate with the Demon Wing clan. Golden Dragon King said. They are too inhumane. It makes one's hair stand on end. Night Sorrow's expression changed. Lord Golden Dragon King, what's up with the snake-headed people that Night Sorrow met? Lin Pumiao asked. Yes, the real version. First player, the Flying Serpent clan is trash. They are naturally lustful. They might have done something dirty with the Demon Wing clan, hence the existence of the snake-headed people. This is also the reason why the 100 clans of the Celestial Realm destroyed their inheritance. They shouldn't have existed. Golden Dragon King scolded. Don't be unhappy, Long Jin. It's a good thing that your son or daughter can become the future Black Dragon King. Moreover, the dragon language can just give birth to a few more. Night Sorrow said with a smile. Golden Dragon King nodded. This king has the same intention. Long Jin, you are the future Golden Dragon King. As the King of Dragons, you have to consider all the branches. The Black Dragons are naturally included. For the continuation of the Black Dragon clan, it's only right that you do something. After chatting for a while, Night Sorrow announced his decision to depart. Don't worry about the safety of Star Moon City and Night Moon Villa. This king will stay here for a while. If there are any fish that escapes the net, this king will eliminate them. As for Mo Tianji's soul, there is no need to worry too much. It will be very difficult for her to rise again in the near future. Once she spends a large amount of time recovering and your strength has increased, she will no longer be a threat, the Golden Dragon King said. Many thanks to Lord Golden Dragon King and Lord Karui. Long Jin, go to Star Moon City and gather the God-slaying team. We are about to set off. Samsara Island will be our battlefield. Night Sorrow said to Long Jin in dragon language. Okay, they will be here soon. Long Jin nodded and left the Night Moon Villa. Night Sorrow, the Golden Dragon King, and Karui chatted for a while about the current situation. Currently, the Demon-Winged clan and the Celestial Realm's 100 races were relatively stronger. Unless the Demon-Winged clan had a new peerless expert, they would not be able to take down Tianhuang City or invade the Celestial Realm. Of course, they had to avoid some unorthodox methods, such as Samsara Island. If they did not take precautions, it would be troublesome if the Demon-Winged clan occupied it. While they were chatting, Long Jin led the God-slaying team to the Night Moon Villa. Night Sorrow led Lin Yun to the training ground where the God-slaying team was and clapped his hands. Hearing Night Sorrow's clapping, the God-slaying team quickly gathered. Let me introduce a new member, Lin Yun, from the Blood Qilin clan. She is the princess of the Blood Qilin clan. Everyone knows the situation of the Blood Qilin clan, so I won't say much. Lin Yun, all I can do is introduce everyone to you. Whether or not you can gain their recognition is your problem. Night Sorrow said to Lin Yun. Captain, don't worry. Lin Yun will do what I have to do. Lin Yun nodded at Night Sorrow. She understood the God-slaying team. It was too difficult for them to recruit members. Get familiar with everyone and reorganize the team. We will set off tomorrow. Night Sorrow said and left. It was enough for him to explain the God-slaying team. Besides, he had to give everyone enough space. After making the arrangements, Night Sorrow went to practice his spear arts. After resting for a night, Night Sorrow said a few words to Lin Piaomiao and Datura. He also said goodbye to the Golden Dragon King and Chi Rui before setting off with the God-slaying team. As for the Humanitarian League, he didn't even need to worry about it. Speaking of which, Mo Tianji didn't have a body again. She was forced to give up her body by Chi Rui. This was a choice that Mo Tianji had no other choice. If she didn't make a prompt decision, her soul spirit might not be able to escape and would truly perish. Without a body, Mo Tianji couldn't suppress her anger. She had worked hard for over 700 years to reach peak emperor rank. In the end, she accidentally bumped into an iron plate, a very hard iron plate. Mo Tianji didn't hate Chi Rui. She hated the black dragons. She was just trying to get information, but she found a huge trap and was beaten back to her original state. Without a body, Mo Tianji couldn't even curse. However, she felt that this was a chance to seize it. It was too difficult to sneak into Star Moon City with a body. However, it was different if she was a soul spirit. It was easy to sneak in. Mo Tianji was currently flying towards Star Moon City. She knew that Jun Xuanji was in Star Moon City. Furthermore, she could enter the 9 regions world through Star Moon City. These were 2 choices, and Mo Tianji fell into deep thought. Both choices had their pros and cons. If she wanted Jun Xuanji's body now, even if she succeeded, it would be the same as destroying the results of her soul reincarnation many years ago. If she didn't want Jun Xuanji and directly headed towards the 9 regions world, there would be a lot of variables. She would either find the original body and merge her soul spirit with the original body, or she would be caught and killed, completely perishing. Both choices were extremely tempting for Mo Tianji. She planned to sneak into Star Moon City first and observe the situation. If there was a chance to enter the 9 regions world, she planned to risk it. If there wasn't such a chance, then she could only take over the body. Mo Tianji's soul spirit flew very quickly. She couldn't afford to drag it because a soul spirit without a body was like a rootless duckweed. It was constantly being ground down by the elemental energy of heaven and earth. There was no defensive power around Star Moon Lake. Even the defensive formation couldn't stop Mo Tianji's soul spirit from infiltrating. After arriving at Star Moon City, Mo Tianji began to investigate. She wanted to understand the situation first. Mo Tianji found Jun Xuanji's location, and also saw Zhu Juyun. After observing Zhu Juyun, Mo Tianji's eyes lit up. Zhu Juyun had great potential. Taking over Zhu Juyun's body was a good choice. Taking over Jun Xuanji's body would destroy her own future. Mo Tianji wasn't willing to do that. As she continued, Mo Tianji understood everything about Star Moon City. She wasn't in a hurry to act. Instead, she analyzed the situation before her. She knew that she couldn't afford to fail. In her current state, failure meant eternal damnation. Everything in Star Moon City was quiet. No one noticed the arrival of Mo Tianji's soul spirit. Even the injured Mo Tianji's soul spirit was unparalleled in Star Moon City. Even Lu Qi, who had great battle power, couldn't compare. Chapter 1995. Mo Tianji kept checking the situation in Xingyue City. She wanted to make sure nothing went wrong. After living for so many years, Mo Tianji had developed the habit of being calmer in times of danger. There was more than one person in Xingyue City that could threaten Mo Tianji. Lu Qi could do it, and so could Lin Piaomiao. After observing for a few days, Mo Tianji found that there were many people going in and out of the teleportation array. They could teleport by placing a Saint Spirit stone. Nothing special happened. After observing for 2 more days, Mo Tianji decided to take action. She was prepared to fail. If the teleportation failed, she would kidnap Yishang's mother. This was the only chance Mo Tianji had to escape unscathed. Yu Qing had entered the king realm. She was currently a primary king. Mo Tianji was confident that she could capture Yu Qing immediately. With a hostage in hand, her safety would be guaranteed. She could even exchange her body with Night Sorrows. This was also a choice. However, Mo Tianji did not want to expose herself. If she could find her body silently, her soul would enter the divine sea and slowly recover. The people in Xingyue City did not know that Mo Tianji had arrived. Everything was going on in an orderly manner. In the Humanitarian League of the Divine Capital, Zhu Juyun planned to return to the 9-domain world, to see how the Netherworld race was doing. After communicating with Jun Xuanji, his clone left the Divine Capital and teleported to Xingyue City. After arriving at Xingyue City, Zhu Juyun did not greet anyone, and went into the teleportation array. At this time, Mo Tianji's soul, who was near the teleportation array, floated and landed on Zhu Juyun's body. Zhu Juyun stroked his golden hair. 2 golden horns appeared. The golden horns were Zhu Juyun's pride. However, it was inconvenient to show them in the celestial realm. Noticing Zhu Juyun's golden horns, Mo Tianji's heart trembled violently. Legend had it that the demonic wing emperor had golden horns. Zhu Juyin was in a good mood. He hummed a tune and inserted a Saint Spirit stone into the teleportation array. Mo Tianji's soul went still. She knew that the success of the teleportation was the most crucial step. The teleportation array was activated. Zhu Juyun and Mo Tianji's soul bodies were teleported. After the space stabilized, they were in Nine Zones world. Mo Tianji was overjoyed that she was not restricted. Yi Shang had indeed not discovered her, because the combined energy of Mo Tianji and Zhu Juyun was not as high as Yi Shang's. Zhu Juyun left, but Mo Tianji did not move. She could feel the aura of her original body. It was in the Sky Ceiling Palace not far from the teleportation formation. Mo Tianji left the teleportation array and went to a hidden place. She started to observe the Nine Regions world. Feeling the vibrant aura of the Nine Domain world, Mo Tianji knew that her judgment was correct. The Nine Domain world was a new supreme world. Mo Tianji also noticed the Nine Region origin energy shield outside the Sky Ceiling Palace. Mo Tianji was very experienced, so she knew what it was. It was something she could not touch. She was born in the celestial realm. If she entered the Heaven Ceiling Hall, she would be attacked by the Nine Domain origins. Investigating was the first thing Mo Tianji needed to do. However, she could not afford to do so in her current state. After leaving the Sky Ceiling Palace for some distance, Mo Tianji noticed a Saint King woman. Her soul power attacked and destroyed the woman's soul. Mo Tianji's soul body entered the woman's divine sea and took control of her body. Mo Tianji was at the 7 Emperor Tribulation level. Her body was not there, but her soul body was at the 7 Emperor Tribulation level. It was easy to destroy a Saint King's soul. She did not merge with the body because she did not want such a body. She only wanted to use the body to stabilize her soul power and not dissipate. Also, it was convenient for her to investigate. The Nine Regions world was a simple new world. It was easy for Mo Tianji to gather information. She stayed in the restaurants and tea houses of the Nine Regions world every day. She learned everything about the Nine Regions world and everything about Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow brought the God-slaying team to Tianhuang City to see the Grand Elder. The battle at the Night Moon Villa was beautifully arranged. It could be said that we solved some of the crisis. The Grand Elder was very happy to see Night Sorrow. After the Black Dragons were taken care of, the 100 races of the Celestial Realm will be united. We will have no worries when we fight in the future. Night Sorrow nodded. Don't worry and go conquer the Samsara Island. Night Moon Villa, Star Moon City, and the forces of Tianhuang City will pay attention, the Grand Elder said. Yi Shang cupped his hands at the Great Elder. He understood what the Great Elder meant by the subordinate force. The Heaven Wasteland Army belonged to the Heaven Wasteland City. The forces of the various elders were also considered forces of Tianhuang City. The most mysterious one was the Fiend God Castle, which was one of the most important forces of Tianhuang City. Grand Elder, Lin Yun of the Bloodscale clan wants to join the First Army. Is this okay? Night Sorrow asked. You are now the commander of the Tianhuang army. Naturally, you have the final say in the troops under your command. However, other than the God-slaying team, try not to accept any members below the Imperial Emperor realm. This is because there will be unnecessary casualties in the future war, the Grand Elder said. Night Sorrow understood the Grand Elder's intention and painstaking efforts. The Tianhuang army was the main force in the battle against the Demon-Winged clan. Those below the Imperial Emperor realm were useless. As for the God-slaying team, the elders of the 100 races of the Celestial Realm were willing to nurture them as elites. After greeting the Grand Elder, Night Sorrow led the members of the God-slaying team to the gate of Tianhuang City, facing the Nirvana Ocean Bridge. He told everyone about Tianhuang City on the other side, and what he knew about Tianhuang City. HQ knew most one fast $. Night Sorrow, then led everyone to the city wall of Tianhuang City. That's where the Samsara Island is located. It's also our destination this time. Everyone enter my 8-dragon cauldron, and I'll take you there. The God-slaying team had absolute trust in Night Sorrow. It was not the first time they entered Night Sorrow's space magic treasure. Naturally, there was no problem. Night Sorrow put the members of the god-slaying team into the 8-dragon cauldron. With the protection of the Samsara domain, they leaped out of the city wall and flew toward the Samsara island. Captain, isn't this Nirvana storm too strong? If we enter alone, won't we be killed in an instant? Liang Yu asked. Yes. Otherwise, why would I be exiled for 8 years and not be able to return? It's because this Nirvana storm blocked me outside. Night Sorrow smiled. He had told the 8-dragon cauldron that insiders were allowed to explore outside. Therefore, the members of the god-slaying team were aware of the situation outside. I'm so excited. I wonder if the Samsara island is fun. If we can cultivate in such a storm, it'll be very helpful to improve our power of heaven and earth. Yin Huang's face was full of excitement. He was not the only one. The others were the same. The environment on the Samsara island is very harsh. However, it's still possible to survive. Your main mission is to train and improve yourselves, Night Sorrow said. Chapter 1996. This is what you don't understand. No matter when or what we face, our god-slaying squad is always this excited, Yin Huang said with a smile. Our mentality is so good. Lin Yun was stunned. Our mentality is good mainly because our captain can bring us back every time we go out for a mission, Ling Long said with a smile. Lin Yun nodded. She really understood. It was because the god-slaying squad had a reliable captain. Princess Lin Yun slowly, you'll like the god-slaying squad, Liang Yu said. There's no need to slowly. I like the god-slaying squad now. I like this atmosphere, Lin Yun said. That's because you haven't seen our captain scold people. However, he hasn't scolded people for a long time. Haha. Ho Jian said. As everyone chatted, Night Sorrow flew rapidly. It took 3 days for Night Sorrow to reach Reincarnation Island. At the edge of Reincarnation Island, the Nirvana storm was very strong. Night Sorrow had to travel some distance before he could get everyone out of the 8-dragon cauldron. Take a good look at the storm and aura. After you get used to it, you'll have to carry out missions, Night Sorrow said after letting the god-slaying squad out of the 8-dragon cauldron. At the edge of Reincarnation Island, the god-slaying squad members couldn't withstand the storm. However, the area Night Sorrow chose was an area where the god-slaying squad members could withstand the storm. This really isn't a good place, he said in the dragon language after taking a look at the storm. This is just a bad environment, okay? Last time, Tianyu, Captain, and I were chased for more than a year. We couldn't hide even if we wanted to. Just thinking about it makes me excited and happy, Longjin said as he patted Tianyu's shoulder. You still have the nerve to say that? When has our god-slaying squad ever been chased? Lei Bao muttered. Lei Bao, it's easy for you to say that. Back then, Captain was a mid-level sovereign emperor. Tianyu and I weren't even as strong as him. Do you think we could fight to the death with an emperor? Why don't you try it? Tianyu glared at Lei Bao. Emperor? Then we really have to run. Running away is a skill. Lei Bao pursed his lips. He knew that this matter involved Night Sorrow. Tianyu looked like he had been plucked. At that time, Captain was already able to kill a low-class emperor rank. However, Imo Tianji wasn't a normal emperor rank. Her realm was high and her battle strength was strong. It was already good enough that he wasn't killed by her. Moreover, Captain obtained the Desolate Sky Halberd. It was already a victory. Longjin turned around and said to the group, No wonder she attacked Night Moon Manor, muttered Yin Yan with a smile. Nianxiao, the grudge between me and Mo Tianji wasn't just formed on the reincarnation battlefield. When I was exiled to Infinite Wasteland and attacked, she and I became sworn enemies. Night Sorrow, who was leading the way, explained the conflict between Yan Wushuang and Mo Tianji. He also said that because of his appearance, Mo Tianji was defeated and lost her main body. Only now did everyone understand how deep the grudge between Mo Tianji and Night Sorrow was. It's a pity that we didn't kill her in the Night Moon Manor, said Sikong Chiyu. Night Sorrow's wives, Sikong Chiyu, Yang Lei and Aoi were all members of the god-slaying team. Now their clones were also going to Reincarnation Island. When a cultivator reaches a certain level, their life force will evolve. Their soul force will also be different. They won't die so easily. Take my master, unparalleled Sword Emperor, for example. His body was destroyed by the god-slaying tribulation, but he still trapped Mo Tianji for countless years without a body. If he hadn't trapped Mo Tianji, his soul force wouldn't have died so easily, explained Night Sorrow to the members of the god-slaying team. Seeing the surprised expressions of the members of the god-slaying team, Night Sorrow said that Mo Tianji's injuries were very serious, and that it would be difficult for her to recover, so that everyone could feel at ease. After 8 days, Night Sorrow led the god-slaying team to meet up with the First Army. They also met King Yewu. Night Sorrow waved at Lin Yun, and had her stand beside him. Let me introduce a new member, Lin Yun. She will be a member of the First Army from now on. Currently, all the teams in the First Army are working together seamlessly. Lin Yun will follow Zhuodong and look after the overall situation. Lin Yun, you are currently the one with the highest cultivation in the First Army. During battle, you must pay attention to the safety of your brothers and sisters. Do not abandon anyone. Night Sorrow introduced Lin Yun to the First Army and made arrangements for her. Lin Yun was an 8-star emperor like him. She was at the peak middle emperor level and could reach the peak emperor level at any time. Commander, don't worry. Zhuodong and the others bowed to Night Sorrow. Even if Night Sorrow didn't mention that Lin Yun had to take care of everyone, the soldiers in the First Army wouldn't be dissatisfied. The First Army and the god-slaying team are all my brothers. You must get along well. If I find any internal strife or disharmony, I will definitely punish you severely. Don't treat my words as a joke. After Night Sorrow finished speaking, he left and went to find King Yewu, who was standing outside the campsite. He wanted to ask King Yewu about his plan. Your subordinates are very energetic. Very good. King Yewu had a very high opinion of the First Army and the god-slaying team. They are a group of motivated people. Martial Uncle, is there any movement on Reincarnation Island? Night Sorrow asked. Martial Uncle can confirm that there are no top-tier experts, but Reincarnation Island is a bit big. It won't be easy to monitor the entire place. Do you have any good ideas? King Yewu looked at Night Sorrow and asked. Reincarnation Island is huge. It is indeed difficult to guard it to the death. It is also not a long-term plan. However, I don't have any ideas right now. Let me think about it. Night Sorrow thought for a moment and shook his head. Don't feel pressured. We will just treat this place as a stronghold and send people to patrol around. This way, we might be able to detect any movement. Your First Army and the god-slaying team also need some training. King Yewu nodded to Night Sorrow. Then Night Sorrow returned to the team. He arranged for everyone to set up camp, and then sorted out his ideas to figure out what to do next. After thinking for a while, Night Sorrow didn't have any good ideas. He could only patrol first and then think of a way. After gathering the people of the First Army and the god-slaying team, Night Sorrow assigned them to different teams. Night Sorrow divided the First Army's team into 2 teams according to the ratio of 4 to 6. He would lead the team with fewer people. The members of the god-slaying team were much weaker than the sergeants of the First Army. Night Sorrow planned to put them in his team. At the same time, he asked the doppelgangers of Long Jin and Tianyu to lead the other team. Lin Yun also followed them. Zhuodong, you have to remember one thing. If you can't handle the battle, you have to protect yourself first and then inform me. Lin Yun, the most terrible thing on Reincarnation Island is the void purple light snake. They can devour energy, but they can't devour the power of merit. If you encounter one, try to avoid it. If you can't, use the power of merit to suppress it and then kill it. Night Sorrow said to Zhuodong and Lin Yun, the leaders of the other team. Don't worry, Commander. Zhuodong and Lin Yun nodded. Wait a moment. Take these 2 soul crystals. If you encounter the Demon Wing clan, crush them. I will be there as soon as possible. King Yewu came to the front of the team. Chapter 1997. Night Sorrow, who had been worried about Zhuodong, was now relieved. King Yewu's words had guaranteed the safety of Zhuodong and his brothers. As for his own team, Night Sorrow was not worried because he was confident that he could solve the crisis. The natural environment of Samsara Island was harsh, but he had a unique advantage because of his taboo attribute. The difficulties that others had to face were nothing to him. In addition, the void purple light snake that was fatal to others was not a threat to him. After reminding Zhuodong, Linyan, and Long Jin to be careful, Night Sorrow saluted King Yawu and left the camp with his team. As for the areas that the two teams needed to explore, Night Sorrow had already divided them. Night Sorrow and Zhuodong each took a copy of the map drawn by Lingling last time. Night Sorrow had divided the exploration areas on it. After the team set off, Night Sorrow told Long Jin and Tianyu's original body to inform him immediately if the other team was in trouble. Night Sorrow also gave the command of the team to Long Jin. He intended to let the team adapt to the rhythm and take action if there was a problem. Long Jin had no problem leading the team because he had a high prestige among the sergeants of the First Army. When Night Sorrow was not there, he was also the leader of the God-slaying team. After taking over the command, Long Jin ordered the team's scouts to explore the area. Yi Shang followed behind the team, thinking about how to solve the problem of Samsara Island once and for all. The area of Samsara Island was too large. With his current speed, it would take him more than 10 days to traverse the island, let alone explore it. It was difficult to prevent others from landing on such a large area. Moreover, such a long exploration was not a long-term solution. The team moved forward and killed the dragon-headed and snake-headed men when they encountered them. "Captain, what are you thinking about?" Flower Without Words asked. Version 8 first release. If we keep defending, we'll lose. Reincarnation Island is too big. It'll be difficult for us to stop the Demon Wing clan from reaching the island. If they really want to sneak in, we won't necessarily know, Night Sorrow said. That's right. Samsara Island is huge. We don't know when or where they landed. Tiger Cold said. Tiger Cold's team, which had just been promoted from reserve, was now following Night Sorrow's team. Spies. It would be great if we could have spies on the island, but that's not realistic. If the environment wasn't so bad, we could find a beast tamer to surround the island with monsters and use them as spies. There's nothing we can do now, Night Sorrow said. Those with poor survivability won't be able to survive on Samsara Island. Not to mention a large number of spies. This method is very difficult to achieve. Long Jin said. Samsara Island was too big. Even 10 Tianhuang cities couldn't compare to it. The problem of spies was very difficult to solve. In our spiritual tree world, there's a kind of tree called the stone tree. It has this name because their cultivation aptitude isn't high. If they succeed, it'll be the same as making stones bloom. However, their defense is very strong and their adaptability is very strong. If we bring them here, will it solve the problem? Flower Without Words said. There's such a situation? Are you sure they can withstand the Nirvana storm? Night Sorrow looked at Flower Without Words in surprise. They should be able to. Won't we know if we try? Flower Without Words didn't dare to say too much. Chuyu, tell Sister Xian about this and let her contact the Grand Elder to see how feasible this matter is, Night Sorrow said to Sikong Chuyu. Although it wasn't convenient for him to do this, Night Sorrow still had a way to contact the outside world. After Sikong Chuyu's original body told Lin Piaomiao went to Tianhuang City to report to the Grand Elder. The Grand Elder was very efficient. He immediately found the Spiritual Tree Elder to ask about this matter. The Stone Tree is a mutant of the Spiritual Tree clan. They are good at defense. However, whether they can withstand the Nirvana storm is still unknown. In addition, there aren't enough of them, the Spiritual Tree Elder said. It's not that hard to confirm whether they can withstand the Nirvana storm. Let them try it in the Nirvana storm outside Tianhuang City. If it works, then it'll be easy. If not, I'll immediately send a message to Night Sorrow and ask him to think of another way, the Grand Elder said. The Spiritual Tree Elder nodded and returned to the Spiritual Tree clan to handle this matter. It was related to the safety of the 100 clans in Celestial Realm. Any clan that could contribute would not be stingy. The team led by Night Sorrow continued to advance. There were many battles, but it was mostly the members of the God-slaying team who fought. The ability of the members of the God-slaying team to fight together opened the eyes of the 4 teams in the First Army. They originally thought that their cooperation was very good, but after seeing the members of the God-slaying team fight together, they knew that they were still far from it. The cooperation between the members of the god-slaying team was simply an art. A few people fighting together was like a single person cooperating with their hands and feet. The transition between attack and defense was perfect. There were no gaps. We originally thought that we were doing very well, but in fact we are still far from it, Tiger Cold said. Wuhan said. White Ming Ming and Bai Lingling also nodded. They had never even imagined such a battle scene. Everyone's understanding of formations is similar. The First Army is inferior to the god-slaying team in that the trust between the brothers is not as high as the god-slaying team. For example, during a battle, the main attacker of the god-slaying team doesn't have to worry about his back at all. This is because he knows that as long as he has brothers by his side, his back will not be attacked, Night Sorrow said. The soldiers of the First Army cupped their hands at the members of the god-slaying team. Today they had seen what trust was and what brothers were. The members of the god-slaying team also impressed them. Actually, this is not the case. There are pros and cons in human nature. This is also the reason why there are not many members in the god-slaying team. The brothers who join the team need everyone's approval. If they don't get everyone's approval, they will always be temporary members. This is because we can only rely on our brothers to protect our backs, Night Sorrow said. 7 days later, Sikong Chuyu told Night Sorrow about the results of the spirit tree race. The idea was feasible, but only stone trees above the saint level could withstand the nirvana storm. There were not many stone trees above the saint level in the spirit tree realm. They could only defend a part of the reincarnation island. The Grand Elder had already made arrangements for this matter. When the arrangements were more or less done, the stone trees would be brought to the reincarnation island. Night Sorrow was very happy to hear this news. After all, being able to defend a part of the island was already a very good result. It would be great if we could control the void purple light snakes. The reincarnation island is the home of the void purple light snakes, Night Sorrow said. The void purple light snakes are too domineering. If we could control them, why would we be spies? No matter how many people we send, they won't be able to kill us, Bai Lingling said. Bai Lingling said. She knew how powerful the Nihility Violet Light Snake was. Last time, she had almost died when she encountered one. It was Yi Shan who had used his power of virtue to pull her clone back from the gates of hell. She still remembered it vividly. Chapter 1998. Controlling the void purple light snake is just a thought. Everyone knows how tyrannical that thing is. Let's continue. Night Sorrow said. The void purple light snake was a special product of a unique region. It was very hard to subdue it. Night Sorrow didn't find any opportunities. The two teams were still investigating. The Heaven Desolate City's 100 Races elders were helping the Spirit Tree Elder arrange the Stone Tree. In the 9 Regions world, Mo Tianji was still investigating. Without any accurate information, she didn't dare to make a move. This was because when they attacked Ethereal Imperial City's Night Moon Manor, Night Sorrow displayed the cultivation of a peak middle-class emperor. Mo Tianji wasn't afraid of Night Sorrow at the same cultivation level. Now, she could fight King with her temporary body. She wasn't even afraid of monarchs, but against Emperor Kings, she had to run. Every day, she spent her time in tea houses and restaurants. Mo Tianji's understanding of Night Sorrow and the 9 Regions world was getting deeper and deeper. At the same time, she was getting more and more shocked. The 9 Regions world had only truly developed for 1,000 years. 1,000 years ago, the 9 Regions world didn't have a king, or even a saint king. It was all history. In less than 1,000 years, the 9 Regions world had developed to the point where saint kings were everywhere. Even kings were often seen on the streets. It was hard to imagine. Mo Tianji, who was drinking tea in a restaurant, sighed. Her heart was full of shock. Even though there was a life and death grudge between them, Mo Tianji still felt admiration for Night Sorrow. 1,000-year emperor was too incredible. Mo Tianji had lived for 8 eras and had seen too many geniuses. These geniuses were all trash in front of Night Sorrow. They couldn't be compared at all. The difference was too great. 1,000-year king was already an incredible talent. There wasn't even an emperor in 1,000 years, let alone an emperor. One had to know that there were too many bottlenecks and insurmountable chasms. Emotianji thought back. She was known as the most outstanding genius in the history of the Devil Wing race, and had immortal potential. However, she used 2,000 years to become an emperor, and even longer to cultivate as an emperor. She used a few 100,000 years to cultivate as an emperor. She couldn't be compared to Night Sorrow at all. Moti new chapter ends super with this comparison. Emotianji did not feel discouraged. Instead, she became even more cautious. Emotianji could not use the teleportation formation in the city in the sky. She had to fly to investigate from afar. When she found that there was a formation with the mystic Ice Kirin Tiger King as the core, she could only retreat. She had no chance at all. Emotianji also found out that Night Sorrow had a clone in the Nine Regions world. The Yi clan also had an emperor. It was a dangerous place for her. Through her investigation, Emotianji was certain that apart from Lin Piaomiao, who had the title of Battle Empress, Night Sorrow also had a wife who was a peak imperial emperor and a son who was a monarch. Even if these people were to travel in the celestial realm, their avatars or true bodies would remain in the Nine Domains world. That was something she could not resist at the moment. After combining all the information, Emotianji felt very powerless. She could not attack the city in the sky. She didn't dare to touch the Nine-Domain Origin Chi barrier around the Heaven Sealing Hall, because she didn't know if the Nine-Domain Origin Chi would confirm the bloodline or the soul. If it confirmed the soul, then she would be attacked if she got close. She would have to bear the risk. Although she couldn't attack half of the Nine-Domain Origin Chi barrier, this made Emotianji a bit anxious because it was a waste of time for her. On this day, Night Sorrow's Nine Regions avatar went to the Nine Regions city to see the Qing Emperor and celebrate with the Qing Emperor. The Qing Emperor had cultivated in the celestial realm for more than 700 years, and successfully entered the imperial realm. Because the Nine Regions avatar could not go to the celestial realm, Night Sorrow could only drink with his master in the Nine Regions city. Seeing Night Sorrow and the Qing Emperor separate and leave the Nine Regions city through the teleportation array, Emotianji gritted her teeth and decided to see if the Nine Regions defensive barrier could stop her from entering. If they didn't stop her, she would be able to rush into the Nine Region defense barrier and find her true body. Emotianji was sure that her true body was in the space below the Sky Ceiling Grand Hall. The space barrier couldn't stop her. Emotianji went to the back of the Heaven Sealing Palace and put one hand into the Nine Regions Origin Energy barrier. She first let the Nine Regions Origin Energy identify her body. This could confuse the Nine Regions Origin Energy. There was no reaction. Emotianji's body flashed and rushed toward the Nine Regions Origin Energy barrier. Bang! With a muffled sound, Emotianji's body was sent flying. The Nine Regions World Origin had not existed for long, but it had been with Night Sorrow for many years. Therefore, it knew that Emotianji's soul origin did not belong to the Nine Regions world. It directly sent Emotianji back, and the origin energy rushed into Emotianji's body to destroy it. Damn it! After cursing, Emotianji's soul left her body and fled. Because if she was too slow, Night Sorrow would arrive. She knew that Night Sorrow and the Nine Regions origin could communicate at any time. Night Sorrow, who was drinking tea with Father Gu in the city in the sky, stood up and went to the Nine Regions city. He went to the corpse that had been killed by the Nine Regions world origin energy. At that moment, the woman's body was already a pile of ashes. She had been burned by the Nine Regions origin energy. The body is from the Nine Regions, but the soul is not. She must have been possessed. The Nine Regions origin body appeared beside Night Sorrow. The Nine Regions origin bead was in the divine sea of Night Sorrow's true body, but the Nine Regions origin could still manifest in the Nine Regions world. This matter is still a little serious. Pay attention to that skeleton. Besides me, kill anyone who comes close or has ulterior motives. No matter who it is, Night Sorrow said to the Nine Regions origin body. No matter who it was, Night Sorrow emphasized these words. There were too many people in the Nine Regions world who could be possessed. However, in order to not make a mistake with Emotianji's skeleton, he could only make this decision. At that moment, Night Sorrow was sure that Mo Tianji's soul had come to the Nine Regions world. However, Night Sorrow could not determine how it had come. After explaining things to the Nine Regions' origin, Night Sorrow returned to the city in the sky. Then he set up a sealing array around the teleportation array. In other words, no matter who came, as long as they did not understand the array, they would be suppressed and killed. Then Night Sorrow called for Datura, whose true body was in the city in the sky. Aluo, inform all our family members to return to the city in the sky. Also, ask Sister Xian'er to come over and bring a few diviners. What's wrong? Datura looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. She had never seen Night Sorrow so serious before. If I'm not wrong, Mo Tianji's soul has come to the Nine Regions world. Night Sorrow said to Datura. How could this be? Wait here. I'll inform Sister Xian'er to come over immediately. Datura knew how serious the situation was. Looking at the lake below the city in the sky, Night Sorrow went into deep thought. This was a huge crisis. Mo Tianji's soul power was very strong. If she wanted to possess someone, a rank 9 emperor could stop her. However, it would be difficult for anyone below rank 9 to stop her. There were only a few emperors in the Nine Regions world. After receiving the news, Lin Piaomiao brought a few diviners and all the emperors of the Piaomiao dynasty to the Nine Regions city. After confirming that Lin Piaomiao had arrived, Night Sorrow also arrived at the Nine Regions city. He brought a group of people into the city lord's mansion. Night Sorrow, are you sure? Lin Piaomiao asked. I'm almost certain. Now we just need to see how to defend and capture her. Night Sorrow's face was filled with killing intent. Chapter 1999. Night Sorrow then told her about how the Nine-Realm origin energy had killed a Saint King cultivator. He said that the body belonged to the Nine-Realm world, but the soul was not the key. Possession. If it's not the Nine-Realm world's soul, then it's most likely Mo Tianji, Lin Piaomiao said. Afterward, the clairvoyant divined that the body Mo Tianji possessed had been burned to ashes, and that a soul had flown away. Then the divined image was no longer clear. I can't be wrong. It's her. Seeing the scene, Yi Shang was sure that the soul was Mo Tianji. There's a spatial treasure in the center of the soul. Mo Tianji's resources are all with her, so she has a way to interfere with our divinations. She was only able to do it because the Nine-Realm origin suppressed her treasure, Lin Piaomiao said. How can we prevent that? She can possess someone's body at any time. Her soul power is tyrannical. If she wants to kill someone, it'll be very difficult for anyone below the emperor to stop her. Night Sorrow was a bit anxious because this was a great crisis. Don't worry too much. She doesn't dare to go to the city in the sky. Our family members are all in the city in the sky. Also, the emperor of the Misty Dynasty is here. He's guarding the teleportation channels in the Medicine Valley and Night Moon City. If she dares to go, she'll be discovered. Also, I suspect that she's been tricked so many times that she won't dare to go to those key areas. Maybe she'll find a normal person to possess, and then find a place to cultivate. Lin Piaomiao said after thinking for a moment. We can only strengthen the defenses. Our family members must return to the city in the sky. Without my orders, they're not allowed to go out. Also, quickly contact Jun Xuanji. Her clone is in the Celestial Realms Humanitarian League headquarters. Where is her real body? After making some arrangements, Night Sorrow thought of Jun Xuanji. Possessing Jun Xuanji was the fastest way for Mo Tianji to rise apart from taking back her real body. Some defenses were quickly carried out with Night Sorrow's orders. Jun Xuanji's real body was in the Celestial Realm, so there was no need for him to return. Lin Piaomiao's doppelganger went to the Medicine Valley, while Datura went to the Night Moon City. The two of them observed carefully. Once Mo Tianji's soul body arrived, it would be discovered. Night Sorrow's 9 domain avatars stayed in 9 domain city. Under his careful observation, he would be able to detect Mo Tianji entering 9 domain city. Mo Tianji knew that she had been exposed. She knew that she had underestimated the spiritual intelligence of the 9 domain worlds. She didn't dare to go to the key areas of the 9 domain worlds, but she wasn't without a goal. Mo Tianji's target was the Nether Realm. She planned to possess Zhu Juyun's body. Zhu Juyun's body had high potential and was more suitable for him. Furthermore, she thought of a sentence in her destiny. The demonic wing emperor had 2 golden horns. If she could successfully possess his body, that sentence might come true. Mo Tianji really wanted to become the emperor of the demonic wing race. Zhu Juyun's original body was with Jun Xuanji. The two of them had fought side by side with Night Sorrow before, so they had a very good relationship. Xuanji, our world is very interesting. I never dared to think of such a situation before. In the past, even the 8th level was unreachable. Now we are trying to break through to the Emperor realm. I have thought about it. If I enter the Emperor realm, I will call myself Great Emperor Nine Cloud, Zhu Juyun said. Aren't you ashamed? Great Emperor Nine Cloud? Who in the celestial realm calls themselves Great Emperor? Jun Xuanji glared at Zhu Juyun and said, That's true. This title is too big. But so what? I will call myself Great Emperor Nine Cloud in the 9 domain worlds. If I go to the Nether realm and tell the people that I am Great Emperor Nine Cloud, who will dare to bite me? Night Sorrow won't care about this. Zhu Juyun thought for a moment and said, All right. You win. Your shamelessness is unparalleled. Jun Xuanji looked at Zhu Juyun with disdain. Suddenly, Zhu Juyun stopped moving. Xuanji, inform Night Sorrow that my doppelganger has been possessed. After speaking, Zhu Juyun sat down cross-legged. She wanted to close her mind and use her doppelganger to resist the possession. Jun Xuanji was anxious. His doppelganger left the Humanitarian League and started to teleport. He teleported to the 9 domains world almost continuously. Then he found Night Sorrow and told him that Zhu Juyun had been possessed. Night Sorrow's energy burst out and wrapped Jun Xuanji around him as he rushed towards the Nether realm. He felt that he had been too careless. Of all his calculations, he didn't expect Mo Tianji to possess Zhu Juyun. When Night Sorrow arrived at the Nether realm, Jun Xuanji's doppelganger told Night Sorrow that Zhu Juyun had lost contact with his doppelganger. This meant that Mo Tianji had possessed his doppelganger. When Night Sorrow arrived at the palace of the Nether realm, he didn't see Zhu Juyun. Mo Tianji had immediately run away after successfully possessing Zhu Juyun. Why would she wait for Night Sorrow to catch her? After hearing this, Night Sorrow was furious. He contacted Lin Piaomiao and asked her main body to take Zhu Juyun to the Grand Elder. Night Sorrow was afraid that his doppelganger would be possessed and harm Zhu Juyun's main body. Night Sorrow had been looking at the spatial tunnel between the Nether realm and the 9 domains world until Luo Yuandao and Peng Wanli arrived. The two of them helped Night Sorrow guard this place. He wanted to trap Mo Tianji in the Nether realm. Night Sorrow didn't find a clairvoyant because he knew how cunning Mo Tianji was. He had to guard the entrance and exit of the Nether realm and search within the Nether realm. After returning to the 9 domains city, Night Sorrow pondered for a while, but still couldn't come up with a good idea. The Nether realm wasn't small. It wouldn't be easy to find Mo Tianji who was hiding. Night Sorrow, that Mo Tianji is a huge threat. We have to get rid of her. Lin Piaomiao was worried because Mo Tianji's existence was a threat to the Night Clan. The Nether realm is a little special in the 9 domains world. Although it is a part of the 9 domains world, there are still spatial barriers. I have already told the 9 domains world's origins to guard the spatial barriers. If there are any tremors, they will inform me. Also, the teleportation array is guarded by Luo Yuandao. Even if Mo Tianji possessed Zhu Juyun, she wouldn't be a match for Luo Yuandao in a short time. Night Sorrow said in a low voice. But this isn't a solution. Datura said. I won't give her too much time. Once the matter at Reincarnation Island calms down, my main body and doppelganger will rush back. I don't believe that I can't find her. Night Sorrow's face was filled with killing intent. We have enough time. How about this? No need for others. I will send my doppelganger to guard the teleportation array. You will personally guard the spatial barriers. Lin Piaomiao said to Night Sorrow. Look at original chapter H above. Alright. Last time, she was in a spiritual body. I didn't see her shadow, so she ran away. This time, don't let me find her shadow. If I do, I will kill her. I will destroy her soul so that she won't have the chance to cause trouble again. Night Sorrow was really angry. Zhu Juyun was one of his best friends. He was furious that Emo Tianji had possessed his doppelganger. Also, Night Sorrow was sure that Emo Tianji wouldn't possess Zhu Juyun's body temporarily. She would really fuse with him later. Zhu Juyun's cultivation talent was high. If she wanted to stay temporarily, Emo Tianji could do it at any time. She wouldn't waste her time to possess a heaven monarch. Chapter 2000. After sealing the Nether Realm, Night Sorrow calmed down a little. A few days ago, he did not know about Emo Tianji's actions, and he felt a strong sense of danger. Now that Emo Tianji had made her move, Night Sorrow had some idea of what to do in the upcoming confrontation. There was also news that the Grand Elder had used a secret technique to cut off all connections between Zhu Juyun's original body and her clone. He had even sealed her soul, spirit sea, body and blood. Zhu Juyun had also returned to the Nine Regions city and handed a white jade bottle to Night Sorrow. That bottle contained the essence blood that the Grand Elder had extracted before her body was sealed. It was a clue to the connection between her and her clone. Juyun, this is my fault. I caused you to lose your clone. Night Sorrow said apologetically. A clone was a life. Losing a clone under the Emperor realm meant that one's soul was no longer complete. It would be very difficult to enter the Emperor realm. It could be said that it had destroyed one's future. It's just a doppelganger. That day, when I couldn't hold on any longer, the doppelganger's soul left its body on its own accord. Now that it's back, it's in a hurry to collect the doppelganger's soul power. This way, the soul will still be complete. What we lost is just a simple doppelganger. Zhu Juyun told Yishang some good news. Fortunately, this is a blessing in disguise. A clone's body is nothing. The soul is the guarantee of one's future. Night Sorrow sighed and patted Zhu Juyun's shoulder. Then he brought Zhu Juyun to the Nether Realm city. Emo Tianji did not dare to stay after possessing Zhu Juyun's body. She left immediately. She did not have the time nor the intention to destroy the soul of Zhu Juyun's clone. In front of the Nether Realm City Lord Mansion, there were two tall statues. One of them was the City Lord, Night Sorrow, and the other was the Netherworld King, Zhu Juyun. Because the statues contain the power of faith of the Netherworld race, the soul of Zhu Juyun's clone was hidden in the statues. After collecting the soul power, Zhu Juyun heaved a sigh of relief. Night Sorrow, you have to avenge me. Zhu Juyun looked at Night Sorrow and said, Of course. Night Sorrow nodded at Zhu Juyun. This woman is too despicable. She doesn't look like a woman at all. Capture her and humiliate her first. Ride her first. Zhu Juyun waved her arm in the air. She was furious. It's not appropriate. I won't do such a thing. Just kill her. Besides, that body is still yours. Night Sorrow glanced at Zhu Juyun and turned to leave. Zhu Juyun blushed. She only wanted to vent her anger. She didn't think too much about it. No matter what, that body used to be hers. It was the same height as her original body. Some parts were the same size. It could be said that whoever took over Emo Tianji was the same as taking over her body. Zhu Juyun followed Night Sorrow to Nine Domain City. However, he was still too embarrassed to speak. I've wronged you this time. I promise you that I will avenge you. Don't think about such nonsense in your head. Now go back to the Celestial Realm. Go to Night Moon Villa or the Humanitarian League. Night Sorrow began to chase Zhu Juyun away. Night Sorrow was already very happy that Zhu Juyun's original body was fine. Zhu Juyun nodded at Night Sorrow and left. When the doppelganger was taken over, the original body would still be unstable. Leaving the nine-domain world and staying away from the doppelganger was the safest thing to do. After sending Zhu Juyun off, Night Sorrow entered the space under the Sky Ceiling Palace. Looking at Emo Tianji's original body, which seemed to be in a deep sleep, Night Sorrow decided to do something. Night Sorrow wouldn't do something like desecrating Emo Tianji's body. However, it didn't mean that he didn't have any other means. Night Sorrow used the nine-domain origin energy to attack Emo Tianji's body and erase all the imprints in her body. Following Night Sorrow's words, the nine-domain origin energy appeared and seeped into Emo Tianji's original body. It burned the Taoist rhymes and soul imprints on her body. At this moment, Mo Tianji, who was cultivating in the spatial treasure and fusing her soul with her body, opened her eyes. Night Sorrow, how dare you touch my original body? I will never forgive you. Although she wasn't sure what Night Sorrow had done, Mo Tianji's soul could sense that something was wrong with her original body. At this moment, Night Sorrow was above the nether realm. Using the 9-domain origin energy, he began to speak. Mo Tianji, I know you can hear me. How dare you take over my 9-domain world's body? I, Night Sorrow, naturally won't tolerate it. Just wait for your original body to be refined. Even if you don't have a bottom line, I won't respect any bottom line. If you want to play, if you want to fight, I, Night Sorrow, will accompany you. Mo Tianji had the urge to tear Night Sorrow apart. Her heart was filled with hatred, but she could only endure it. She knew that her possession had angered Night Sorrow. She had taken over a body, so Night Sorrow was going to destroy one of her bodies. In addition, Mo Tianji also had a slight understanding. Once she recovered her strength, her first battle with Yishang would be regarding her true body. Even if she couldn't take it back, she had to destroy it. She couldn't leave it in Yishang's hands. Night Sorrow had too many ways to deal with her original body. For example, he could strip her naked and throw her in public in 9-domain city. Then she would lose her dignity and her fate would be 0. Whether Night Sorrow would do that or not, Mo Tianji didn't dare to say. Although Night Sorrow had promised not to violate her body, she had no bottom line in front of him. Furthermore, a promise wasn't an oath, so it didn't count for much. After leaving a message in the Nether Realm, Night Sorrow returned to 9-domain city. He didn't have a way to capture Mo Tianji, so he could only wait. Also, Night Sorrow was sure that Mo Tianji wouldn't be able to do much in the Nether Realm. If she wanted to do something, she would have to leave the Nether Realm. Would Mo Tianji dare to leave the Nether Realm? Obviously, she didn't dare to do so now. As for cultivation achievements, Night Sorrow had already calculated. Last time, after Mo Tianji took over his body, she cultivated to peak Emperor rank in 700 years. If she wanted to reach peak Emperor rank this time, she wouldn't need any less time. However, Night Sorrow didn't need such a long time. As for himself, Night Sorrow never lacked confidence. He felt that he could enter the 9-star Emperor realm at any time. At that time, he would return with his original body and clone and go to the Nether realm to dig out Mo Tianji. Mo Tianji had some plans in her heart, but before she could execute them, she had to recover some strength. At the very least, she had to have the strength to survive against Night Sorrow. During this period of time, she would be in danger. Although she didn't want to admit it, Mo Tianji was a bit afraid of Night Sorrow, because she had suffered too much at his hands. If it wasn't necessary, she didn't want to encounter Night Sorrow. Mo Tianji seized the time to fuse with her body. However, because her original body was being refined by the 9-domain origin flames, she had to endure a lot of pain. She couldn't even concentrate. This situation was torture for her. She even had thoughts of completely severing her connection with her original body, but she wasn't willing to do so. She could only endure it in torment. Night Sorrow led the team and continued to advance. They patrolled Reincarnation Island during the battle, but no one disturbed Night Sorrow, who was walking at the back of the team. Everyone knew about Mo Tianji. Chapter 2001. Mo Tianji cultivated while being tortured every day. She even believed in fate. After meeting Night Sorrow, her fate had changed. She would lose a body if she obtained one. As for why there weren't any consequences for possessing a body in Heaven Wasteland, that was because she had luck in Heaven Wasteland. However, it was different in the Celestial Realm. To Mo Tianji, the most urgent thing was to speed up the fusion of the bodies and gain strength. Then, she could snatch back the original body's soul imprint before it was erased. If the original body was refined, then there would be no aura and soul imprint that belonged to her. Without a soul imprint, it would be difficult to fuse again, and it would take some time. Other than that, without a soul imprint, other people could enter her body and refine it. It wasn't a possession, it was just a refinement. It could be used as a treasure or a battle clone. Mo Tianji didn't come out and couldn't come out. Adding on the fact that divination was ineffective, Knight Sorrow didn't have any good ideas. He could only focus on cultivation and scouting Reincarnation Island. As they advanced, he would point out areas where the team was lacking. He would also point out areas where the team was lacking. After a long period of scouting, they encountered high cultivation dragon-headed men. Even Emperor ranks couldn't withstand the suppression of this small team. The First Army soldiers were all Emperors. With the Emperors working together, taking care of a low-level Emperor rank wasn't a problem. Even if a middle-level Emperor appeared, there wouldn't be any danger because Long Jin and Tianyu could fight. Long Jin was already an Emperor rank and could easily fight above his rank. Along the way, they encountered a void purple light snake. However, it was rather weak and was caught by Long Jin's dragon claw. Just as it was about to drill into Long Jin's body, it was torn apart and killed by Long Jin. The other team also encountered a void purple light snake. Without Long Jin making a move, Lin Yun killed it. Captain, there's no need to worry about that team. Lin Yun's combat power is very strong. I've seen that she's a little hesitant and unfamiliar with the battle. That's because she hasn't had enough battle experience. It has nothing to do with her strength or combat talent. After the void purple light snake was suppressed by her domain, its speed decreased and its threat decreased. Killing it became much easier. Seeing that Knight Sorrow was a little worried, Long Jin reported the situation of that team. Yes, it's good that I can deal with the void purple light snake. That's our biggest threat on Samsara Island. Knight Sorrow nodded. The members of the First Army and the God-slaying team faced the greatest dangers on the Samsara Island, including the dragon-headed man, the snake-headed man, and the void purple light snake. The void purple light snake was the most dangerous one because its defense was low and it would be killed instantly. Bai Lingling was a nine-tailed divine beast with a strong body, but it was also broken in an instant. Knight Sorrow and Lin Yun could withstand it because they both had the power of merit. The power of merit was energy that the void purple light snake could not devour. Long Jin could barely withstand it because his golden scales were extremely strong. Now that everything was stable, Knight Sorrow continued to lead them forward to investigate. After more than 10 days, the team arrived at the edge of the Samsara Island. There were many Nirvana storms and space cracks in this area. The suppression on the First Army and the God-slaying team was much stronger. Long Jin, take the team and camp here. If you need to cultivate, just do it. If there's any danger, inform me. I'll go to the edge of the island to take a look and see which areas need to be heavily guarded. Yi Shan said to Long Jin before flying away. CW more $I knew N most RC fast W% up. Knight Sorrow communicated with the team through the Soul Crystal. In addition, Sikong Chuyu Yanglei and Aoi were in the team. Their original bodies were cultivating in the 9-domain world. If there was any danger, they could find Knight Sorrow's 9-domain doppelganger to send a message. With the Blood Kirin evil-slaying spear on his back, Knight Sorrow flew quickly. Except for the extremely aggressive Nirvana storm, there was almost nothing to stop him. This was because the Nirvana storm not only hurt the First Army and the God-slaying team, but also the dragon-headed man and the snake-headed man. Therefore, some areas were also forbidden areas for them and all monsters. Captain won't be in danger, right? After Knight Sorrow left for a while, White Mingming said with some worry. No, Captain's strength isn't that simple. The Void Storm puts a lot of pressure on us, but if Captain can fly as he pleases, it won't affect him. After sleeping for 700 years, Captain has become even more unfathomable. Unless we see an expert fight Captain once, we won't be able to see how strong Captain is. Tiger Cold said. Long Jin laughed. There are still smart people. Let's put it this way. Peak Emperors have no chance in front of Captain, and will only be killed. Even if an Emperor Tribulation cultivator can withstand Captain's attacks, it's still unknown. If you want to pressure Captain, you have to be an Emperor Tribulation cultivator. Everyone, don't worry. I heard from Sister Xian who is also the Ethereal Battle Empress, that she had sparred with the Great Demon King and Knight Sorrow. She relied on her high realm and the abundant energy in her body to slightly suppress Knight Sorrow, but she couldn't defeat him. Sikong Chiyu laughed. Her husband was the pride of her heart. Domineering. Flower without words muttered. 13th brother has always been pursuing practical combat strength. He has no shortcomings in attack, defense, and speed. He has absolute arts that complement his own attributes. So you guys should understand, Tianyu said. He had cultivated the spacetime realm and knew how freakish the defense of the spacetime realm was. Night Sorrow reached the edge of Nirvana Ocean and released his soul power to the maximum. Then he circled around the edge of Reincarnation Island and began his patrol. While flying, Night Sorrow also analyzed the situation that he scouted. As long as a cultivator landed on the island, there would be traces left behind. For example, the destruction of the environment caused by the impact of a defensive domain. After using 3 months, Night Sorrow scouted the entire coastline of Reincarnation Island. Then he returned to the campsite of the First Army and the God-slaying team. "Captain, what took you so long?" Tiger Cold asked. Night Sorrow laughed and said that he flew around the coastline of Reincarnation Island. "You scouted around directly? Captain, you finished all the work when we set up camp?" Tiger Cold's mouth was wide open. Although he knew that Night Sorrow was efficient, he didn't expect Night Sorrow's scouting to be so efficient. Based on the current situation, it won't be easy for the Demon-Winged clan to enter Reincarnation Island. If a supreme powerhouse brought his men here, then the opportunity will appear. Lord King Yawu will be able to sense it. Without a supreme powerhouse, ordinary people won't be able to come here immediately. Night Sorrow said. In public, Night Sorrow always addressed Lord King Yawu as Lord King Yawu. If he directly addressed him as Martial Uncle, people would think that he was using his status to talk. "Captain, based on your analysis, there won't be any problems?" Flower Without Words asked. "Not completely. What if the other party is worried about the opportunity and opens a spatial tunnel to send people in? At that time, they will directly enter the hinterland of Reincarnation Island and use some methods to hide their aura. It won't be that easy to detect them." Night Sorrow shook his head. Chapter 2002. War Sky, we can't go in directly. Those old fellows from the 100 Races Alliance might have people on the island. No matter which one of us goes in, we'll be discovered. We aren't afraid of fighting, but we can't afford to fail or be discovered. If the other side is alerted, it will be very disadvantageous for us in the future. If they're prepared, they'll defend the island to the death. It'll be very difficult for us to reach the celestial realm with the help of Samsara Island, Utianmo said. Indeed, the heavenly concubines situation is unclear. If we fight them to the death, we will be at a disadvantage. But what should we do? Emo Zhantian looked at Emo Yutian and asked. Borrowing the power of the sacrificial pagoda, we can open a space-time tunnel to send people in. My doppelganger will bring the wheel of life and death along with the others. However, this will require all the elders of the Demon Ancestor Palace to work together to stabilize the space-time tunnel. Mo Yutian explained his thoughts. Mo Zhantian pondered and opened a spatial tunnel to connect the celestial realm to the reincarnation battlefield. Due to the distance and the interference of fate, they could only send in cultivators below the emperor rank. Now, opening a spatial tunnel to the reincarnation island was relatively easy. It was half the distance to the celestial realm. The reincarnation battlefield had become the reincarnation island, so the interference of fate was much less. It seems that this is the only way. Yutian, bring some people in and set up the defensive matrix and teleportation matrix. Once the sacrificial tower's energy has recovered, I will arrange for people to open a space tunnel and send some emperors to the celestial realm. Once they set up the teleportation matrix corresponding to the Samsara Island, everything will be done. Mo Zhantian nodded. He agreed with Mo Yutian's point of view. For the Demon-Winged clan, they had to bear some costs and risks. As long as they could break into the celestial realm, all the costs and risks were worth it. The Wheel of Life and Death was an ancestral artifact of the demon race. It could conceal one's aura, but the premise was that one's energy was not exposed. It could only conceal energy that had not been activated. If Mo Yutian were to bring his men over, he would have to use his own domain and energy to resist the Nirvana storm. Under such circumstances, the aura concealing effect of the Wheel of Life and Death would be useless. However, things would be different if they entered Samsara Island through the space-time tunnel. As long as Mo Zhantian did not activate the energy within his body, all auras would be sealed. Mo Zhantian left. He was going to communicate with the elders of the Devil Ancestor Hall. The elders of the Devil Ancestor Hall were similar to the elders of the 100 Races Alliance. In the celestial realm, hundreds of races coexisted. As long as any race contributed to the celestial realm, and had outstanding cultivators in their own race, they could join the Elder Council. The deserted world was different. In the deserted world, only the demon-winged clan was powerful. However, the demon-winged clan was also divided into bloodlines, branches, and different inheritances. Mo Yutian, Mo Zhantian, Mo Tianji, and the others all came from different tribes. Because of their outstanding and powerful strength, they had the right to speak in the Demon Wing clan. However, the other large tribes also had outstanding cultivators. These outstanding cultivators were almost all the leaders of their respective tribes and branches. They were also members of the Elder Council of the Demon Ancestor Palace. Yi Shang took the team to change their route and rushed to the original rendezvous point on Samsara Island. He also needed to discuss the situation and analysis with King Yawu. As for how to defend, he did not care. Only King Yawu, the city master of Heavenly Desolate City, and the great elders could discuss. Although they had changed their route, Night Sorrow and the others were still very fast. They arrived at the rendezvous point in half a month. The team led by Zhuodong and Lin Yin had been back for a while. They could not explore like Night Sorrow. They could only explore the hinterland of Samsara Island in a semicircle. Night Sorrow knew this because he had communicated with Long Jin's doppelganger. After returning to the camp, Night Sorrow and King Yawu discussed the current situation. In this critical period, the consequences of carelessness are unbearable. What you said is very likely, but all we can do is to defend. Because they open the space-time tunnel, they don't know the specific landing point. King Yawu shook his head. Even King Yawu could not understand Night Sorrow's idea. It's too difficult to defend passively. Uncle, don't we have any plans to attack? Night Sorrow asked. Yes, but we have to wait. We are already in the 8th era of Samsara Island. There won't be small clashes so easily. If we are to fight, it will be a battle of life and death. The Heaven Desolation City Lord and Uncle are both trying to break through. If they can break through, it will be an opportunity for the decisive battle. King Yawu said. Night Sorrow nodded and didn't say anything else. Because the implications were too deep, he couldn't understand. Since King Yawu didn't say anything, he just asked. Don't touch your master's sword Dao for now. Even if you have the taboo attribute, it will be a burden for you. Break through to peak Emperor rank as soon as possible. This is the most important thing. It's best if you reach peak Emperor rank with destruction or nothingness. With the supreme attribute as the lead, your taboo attribute will be even stronger. King Yawu said to Night Sorrow. He still didn't recommend Night Sorrow to study Yan Wushuang's sword Dao now. Then senior brother can only wait. Wait until I study Master's book before I can communicate with him. Night Sorrow said. He will understand. Because once you read the sword manual, even if you don't want to learn or cultivate, some things will naturally be imprinted in your mind. It will affect what you are learning now. If it conflicts with your current cultivation path, it will be troublesome. King Yawu reminded Night Sorrow. Different cultivation paths meant different Dao. If there was a conflict between Dao, it would be fine if it could be resolved and merged. If it couldn't, the result would be a collapse of the Dao heart. The consequences would be severe. Soon after, King Yawu told Night Sorrow that there was no need to scout the surrounding regions of Samsara Island. Other than a few experts from the Devil Wing race, even emperors couldn't pass through the Nirvana Storm Seal and reach Samsara Island. If an expert came, he would be able to detect it. Night Sorrow also understood this. He took the map and marked out some regions. There was no need to scout the Broken Sky Mountain region, as there was the Void Purple Light Snake. For latest chapter, Stanza LQPJP, the Void Purple Light Snake was a problem for the cultivators of the Celestial Realm. It was also a problem for the Devil Wing race. Relatively speaking, the key area Night Sorrow marked out was Demon Mountain. Demon Mountain was once the nest of the dragon-headed and snake-headed people. The dragon-headed and snake-headed people were taken away by the Devil Wing race. Therefore, if the Devil Wing race wanted to do something on Samsara Island, it was reasonable to choose Demon Mountain. After Night Sorrow marked out the regions, the scouting began again. When they were halfway around Demon Mountain, Night Sorrow waved his hand to stop the team. Then he stopped moving. Long Jean led the people to be on guard. There were only two possibilities for such a situation. Either Night Sorrow discovered the situation, or Night Sorrow's original body had a problem. At this time, Night Sorrow's original body had a problem. Because the nothingness attribute had increased a little, it triggered a riot of the nothingness attribute. This situation attracted a guy that was different from the ordinary void purple light snake. It was more than 4 feet long, and had a golden line from the back of its head to its tail. Void purple light snake king. Seeing this special guy, Night Sorrow knew what was going on. Chapter 2003. The nothingness purple light snake king was swimming within Night Sorrow's reincarnation domain. With the naked eye, it was filled with a domineering and gorgeous aura. Its body was filled with a sense of beauty. Of course, this beauty was only external. Only Night Sorrow knew how fierce it was. The reincarnation domain collapsed under the constant attacks of the nothingness purple light snake king, forming a small void vortex. The nothingness purple light snake king approached Night Sorrow while attacking and devouring energy. Night Sorrow was sure that the nothingness purple light snake king could devour his energy. During the collision, Night Sorrow's reincarnation domain's energy was broken down into destruction, space-time, and limitless energy. The nothingness purple light snake king could devour it. Suppress. Yishang snorted softly. His power of merit exploded and strengthened his domain. With the power of virtue, the power of Night Sorrow's domain increased by a lot. Most importantly, the nothingness purple light snake king could not devour the power of virtue. Naturally, it was suppressed. Waving the Samsara halberd, Night Sorrow attacked. When the Samsara halberd was very close to the nothingness purple light snake king's head, a thought suddenly appeared in Night Sorrow's mind. This caused his Samsara halberd to deviate. Night Sorrow suddenly had the idea to subdue the nothingness purple light snake king. The nothingness purple light snake was the overlord of this reincarnation island. If he could subdue the nothingness purple light snake king, then the group of nothingness purple light snakes could become Night Sorrow's eyes. Withdrawing the Samsara halberd's attack, Night Sorrow's left hand, wrapped in energy, pressed towards the nothingness purple light snake king. The nothingness purple light snake king's rebound and impact force rushed towards Night Sorrow's left hand. Night Sorrow felt as if his left hand was pressing against an erupting volcano, an angry dragon. Using his left hand to suppress the nothingness purple light snake king, Night Sorrow's right hand formed a fist. He used shockwave force to bombard the nothingness purple light snake king's head. He wanted to knock the nothingness purple light snake king unconscious. The punch that contained 30% of his power only managed to stop the void purple light snake's struggle for an instant. The void purple light snake king's defensive ability was very strong. 30% of Night Sorrow's energy didn't do much damage to it. Sensing the defensive power of the nothingness purple light snake king, Night Sorrow kept unleashing punches. The power behind his punches kept increasing. When Night Sorrow's primary energy reached 80%, he managed to knock out the nothingness purple light snake king with one punch. Night Sorrow and the nothingness purple light snake king entered the inner space of the human emperor's seal. Night Sorrow didn't dare to use any other magic treasure to trap the nothingness purple light snake king. An ordinary nothingness purple light snake could easily break through spatial barriers and destroy defensive treasures, let alone the nothingness purple light snake king. Not even the clear sky pagoda could withstand it. The moment the nothingness purple light snake king woke up, it was suppressed by the power of virtue that Night Sorrow had unleashed using the human emperor's seal. With the power of virtue bolstered by the human emperor's seal, the nothingness purple light snake king was completely suppressed. It was like a loach stuck in a quagmire. Next, you have two options. You can either submit or be destroyed. Night Sorrow sent his message to the nothingness purple light snake king. In response to Night Sorrow, The nothingness purple light snake king unleashed a soul attack in response to Night Sorrow. In that case, let's see how long you can last. Right now, you don't even have the chance to die. After saying that, Night Sorrow brought out the Human Emperor's seal. The Human Emperor's seal floated above Night Sorrow's head. Night Sorrow activated the Human Emperor's fire of virtue and began attacking the nothingness purple light snake king's spirit sea. Night Sorrow knew that if this continued, there would be two outcomes. One was to subdue the nothingness purple light snake king, and the other was to refine and obliterate its soul. If he could subdue the nothingness purple light snake king, then there was nothing more to say. If he could refine its soul, Night Sorrow could only send a strand of his soul power into the nothingness purple light snake king's spirit sea, and try to control the nothingness purple light snake king's spirit sea. However, the possibility was very low. Night Sorrow continued to comprehend the power of heaven and earth while burning the nothingness purple light snake king with the fire of virtue. Night Sorrow's doppelganger, who was leading the First Legion and the God-slaying squad, opened his eyes. "We can continue forward." "Captain, what happened?" Longjin asked. "We encountered the nothingness purple light snake king and fought for a while," Night Sorrow said with a smile. He didn't go into the details. If he did, everyone would be disappointed if he couldn't subdue them. The team continued to investigate. Night Sorrow's doppelganger walked at the back. No one disturbed him because there was no need for Night Sorrow to fight. In the blink of an eye, 2 months had passed. On this day, the Nirvana storm on Samsara Island became very intense. Due to the influence of natural factors, the Nirvana tide became stronger. Night Sorrow ordered the team to stop moving forward. He wasn't afraid, but if the team members were to be sucked in by the void vortex, they would be in big trouble. While the First Legion and the God-slaying squad were setting up camp, some people gathered in front of the sacrificial tower of the Devil Imperial City. It was a team led by Mo Yutian and Mo Zhantian. There were a few emperors in the team, and the rest were all monarchs. Half of them were from the Devil-Winged race, while the other half were from the Dragon Head race and the Snake Head race. In front of this team, there were some Devil-Winged race members with powerful auras. They were the elders of the Devil Ancestor Palace. "If there's anything, we can communicate with our real bodies. I will go first and activate the sacrificial tower," Mo Yutian said to Mo Zhantian. "Later, I will send some monarchs to the celestial realm to set up a teleportation array that connects to Samsara Island. We can communicate at any time." After Mo Zhantian finished speaking, he nodded to the elders of the Devil Ancestor Palace behind him. The price of continuously opening the space-time tunnel was huge. However, in order to conquer the celestial realm, the Devil-Winged race had to bear the price no matter how big it was. Original version 9. End premiere. Following the activation of the elders of the Devil Ancestor Palace, a beam of light shot out from the sacrificial tower. The beam of light shot through the sky and turned into a space-time tunnel. Mo Yutian's doppelganger then led the team into it. Mo Yutian had asked the fortune teller to choose the time for the battle. When the Nirvana storm was at its strongest, it would be easier to open the space-time tunnel, and they wouldn't be discovered. After exiting the space-time tunnel, Mo Yutian and his team appeared in the Devil Mountain region of Samsara Island. "Everyone be careful. Don't be discovered. We will set up the defensive array now. This isn't an easy task. Let's begin." Mo Yutian ordered the team behind him. In order to set up a teleportation array on Samsara Island, first of all, they couldn't let the Nirvana storm affect the operation of the teleportation array. In order to do so, they had to set up a large-scale defensive array to stabilize the surrounding space. The stalemate between Night Sorrow's real body and the Void Purple Light Snake King was still ongoing. However, the Void Purple Light Snake King wasn't as energetic as before. The Human Emperor's fire of virtue was irresistible. It kept burning its soul, causing it to be unable to withstand it. Chapter 2004. The Void Purple Light Snake King did not respond because it was meaningless. Noticing the Snake King's state and attitude, Night Sorrow suddenly increased the impact of the Emperor's fire. While the Snake King was still in a daze, Night Sorrow's soul power rushed into the space of the void purple light Snake King's spirit sea. Inside the void purple light Snake King's divine sea was a divine infant. It was a figure that looked just like the original void purple light snake, but it was much smaller. Night Sorrow's soul power was wrapped around this divine infant. The outcome has been decided. You can kill me. As the deluxe merit emperor. Why do you have to make things difficult for me? The void purple light Snake King's voice sounded in Night Sorrow's spirit sea. I'm sorry. I have no choice but to do this because I need your help. Let's talk. Night Sorrow said and withdrew the Emperor's fire of virtue. Then he calmly talked about the situation in the celestial realm and the deserted world, as well as the crisis in the celestial realm on the Samsara Island. The deserted world. The celestial realm. Are we also in the celestial realm? The void purple light Snake King's spirit sea appeared in Night Sorrow's spirit sea. Yes, the war is about to begin. Let's not talk about whether I'm the deluxe merit emperor. I'm from the celestial realm. Naturally, I have to think about the races in the celestial realm. If this is a sin, I have to do it. I hope you don't blame me. Night Sorrow shook his head helplessly. You want the void purple light snakes to be your eyes. That's fine. But when will you let me go? The void purple light Snake King asked. I don't know. But at least after the Samsara Island incident. Night Sorrow said after thinking for a while. Okay. But there are some things that we need to discuss. If you force me, I won't agree. The void purple light Snake King walked around the Emperor's space and said. Okay. Night Sorrow nodded. Even if it was just a discussion, it was still a big gain for him. With a vibration of his soul, Night Sorrow pulled the void purple light snake out of the space of the Emperor's seal. Night Sorrow was not afraid that the void purple light snake would go back on its word. The void purple light snake's nascent soul was entwined with his soul power. As long as he used his soul power, the void purple light snake would not be able to fight back. After leaving the human emperor space, the purple light Snake King circled around Night Sorrow's body. Then, a purple gold halo appeared on its head, rippling in all directions. The order has been given. The void purple light snakes will not stay in one place. They have already spread out and are patrolling the entire Samsara Island. If there are any outsiders, they will be discovered soon. The void purple light Snake King's soul fluctuations reached Night Sorrow's divine sea. Thank you. Night Sorrow nodded at the void purple light Snake King. He was really happy. I am willing to do this mainly because we, the void purple light snakes, are also creatures of the celestial realm. This war is also related to us. Also, there is something else that I have helped you with. You have to help me too. Release that special domain and let me feel it. The void purple light Snake King said to Night Sorrow. Night Sorrow thought for a while and released the power of merit. It's not that. The power of merit is not an elemental power, and it can't be comprehended. It's the original kind. The void purple light Snake King's soul rippled with a trace of emotion and urgency. Night Sorrow understood what the void purple light Snake King was talking about. It was talking about the forbidden Samsara domain. After understanding, Night Sorrow released it. Then the void purple light Snake King wandered in Night Sorrow's Samsara domain. Sometimes it even swallowed it. However, this had no effect on Night Sorrow. He continued to meditate and comprehend the general trend of heaven and earth. Long Jin tells Wadong and Lin Yun to return with their teams. We will go back now. Night Sorrow ordered. Captain, don't you want to investigate anymore? Long Jin asked. Let's not investigate anymore. We already have spies. Night Sorrow smiled. He knew that the scouting efficiency of the two teams was incomparable to that of the void purple light snakes. What was the speed of the void purple light snakes? How many were they? In the past, they gathered in special areas. Once they spread out, they could cover most of the Samsara Island. Didn't you say that the arrangement of the stone trees would take some time? Can it be done now? Besides, there are not enough stone trees. Flower Without Words said. P-Start. What if the void purple light snakes are helping us to keep an eye on the Samsara Island? Won't they be more efficient than us in investigating? We can just go and investigate wherever the situation is not right. Night Sorrow said. Brother 13, what's going on? Tianyu looked at Night Sorrow in surprise. Not only Tianyu, but the soldiers of the First Army and the members of the God-slaying team were also looking at Night Sorrow in shock. 2 months ago, I met the Void Purple Light Snake King. You all know that. I fought with it for 2 months. It was willing to help me as a scout on the Samsara Island. Night Sorrow said with a smile. That's amazing. So you subdued the Void Purple Light Snake King? White Meng Meng, who was also in the same team as Night Sorrow, looked at Night Sorrow as if he was a monster. Not really. We can communicate. It's willing to help us because it's also a being of the celestial realm. Alright, let's go back. Night Sorrow ordered. Night Sorrow only mentioned one reason. In fact, there was another reason. The Void Purple Light Snake King was interested in Night Sorrow's reincarnation energy. The team turned around quickly. When they arrived at the rendezvous point, Night Sorrow told King Yuwu about it. Very good. This is great news. When the Grand Elder sends Shirshuchu in here, the Winged Demon Clan will not be able to sneak up on the Samsara Island. For the next period of time, the team just needs to keep an eye on the areas that the Void Purple Light Snakes are investigating. King Yuwu was very happy to hear this news. With the help of the Void Purple Light Snakes, this place was Night Sorrow's home ground. It was also the home ground of the celestial realm. There are people. The Void Purple Light Snakes have discovered other people. I will take people to investigate. Night Sorrow's expression changed. The Void Purple Light Snake King received the report of the Void Purple Light Snakes that had spread out. Look at the situation. If there's a crisis, inform Uncle. King Yuwu was very shocked when he heard Night Sorrow's words. The Winged Demon Clan had already arrived on the island. If the Void Purple Light Snakes hadn't discovered them, the celestial realm might not have reacted. Night Sorrow's original body communicated with the Void Purple Light Snake King. The Void Purple Light Snake King left the spatial whirlpool area and went to Night Sorrow's doppelganger. With a void jump, it entered Night Sorrow's doppelganger's divine sea. Night Sorrow didn't resist because the Void Purple Light Snake King's soul power wrapped around the divine infant couldn't hurt him. In addition, he didn't feel any hostility. Bowing to King Yuwu, Night Sorrow led the team out. As for the direction and target, it was the Void Purple Light Snake King who guided them. Senior King Yuwu didn't sense anything, so the people who appeared shouldn't be very strong. We might be able to kill them. Long Jin's fighting spirit was very strong. You're tuning in to the Echoes of the Heart YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.